Darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. Alchemize your energy, my friend. Let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright, from darkness to light.
Right. Well, welcome to my Alchemizing Energy today and Sugar Love, the Love Train. We have come together once again to bring you an awesome show. Today we have a special guest from Port Arthur, Texas, by way of Houston. I'm not sure if Houston is where's. I'm not sure Port Arthur is close to Houston, but he's from that whole time frame, that whole the UGK and Pimp C and Bun B. So I want to introduce you guys to Hezeleo,
the one and only.
the one and only.
Yes.
Hello, nice to meet you. Now, how do I say your name? Is it Hezeleo or Hezeleo?
He's a Leo. He's a Leo, but we got some tripling and doubling going on.
Triple and doubling? What you mean?
Yeah, we got triple and doubling going on.
Like sound wise?
Yeah, somebody gonna have to mute their stuff back in the back. Yeah,
Make
somebody gonna have
sure
to mute
your YouTube is on mute.
my YouTube.
Yeah. Now that
Uh,
you live. Because you in StreamYard now.
Right, your YouTube and Facebook and everything else that you're streaming on, make sure those things are not
They can still
muted.
hear you, but it won't feedback.
okay, so we good now. So it was me.
Yeah.
I apologize. Well, I thought
We
y'all was
all-
tripping. That was me. Hold up. Come
No,
on.
we all do that. We
Got a little
all
bit
do
too many
that.
windows open, right? You're trying to
We all do that.
we're simul streaming on your platform as well as ours, as well as Sugar Loves. This is
Yeah.
a whole group affair. This is a whole team effort of like just talking about some things and just going back into history, learning some stuff. So hold on one second.
That's about to be cool. Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. The kids came in here and bum rushed me. All right. So this first thing, I want to know who is he's a Leo. Are you a Leo? First of all, are you a Leo?
Nah, I'm a Scorpio.
Oh Lord. Okay, but okay. So all right. So let's first find out who is he's a Leo, and what when you talk about UGK, what is your relation to UGK, Pimp C, Bun B, that whole
he gotta go way back
go way.
Oh no,
my man was an
it's nothing.
entrepreneur first.
Was he
It's
an
nothing.
entrepreneur? Well, I think
Yes. Let's get into his entrepreneurship that
Nah,
led
man, let's
him
go
to
all
his
the way
now.
back.
That's
Let's
right.
go all
Let's
the
go
way back.
all
Okay, let's
the
go
way
all
back,
the
my
way
brother.
Let
Yes,
me wheel on back.
he was a self-made man already.
He's a Leo was not He's a Leo in the beginning. He's a Leo was KHD, a young rap artist. Been rapping since elementary school. Had the love for it ever since the early 80s. So it wasn't about business then for a young artist. For me, it was about displaying my talent. But I ran into a situation at about 19 that made me kind of lose the love for it, and I stopped rapping. So when I came back, my baby brother happened to be in prison serving 20 years during that time, and he told me I was looking quite dusty. I had lost my flair, and he was saying that when I was an artist, I had a natural glow by myself. So he said I should get back at it. And I said, I don't know what I would call myself because back then, KHD, back then we thought we was on some royalty shit, kings and all that type of shit. So I'm like, that shit kind of played out now. So one of my partners from Chicago used to call me Big Heezy. So we just started flowing that name. We turned it into Heezy, Hezeleo. Then we came up with Hezeleo. So that's how that name was birthed. So as an artist, I'm really a true artist from, elementary school on up. Bumping into UGK, I bumped into them before they was UGK because we all from the same hometown. And I had met them and came across them multiple times before they formed the group. They was MCC, that's what Pimp C called himself. And then Bun B, they said he called himself Bunny B at the time, but when I met him, he was already Bun B. And my affiliation to UGK, I'm affiliated with UGK, but I'm UGK Posse. This is something that Pimp C started, and I was UGK Records, again, something that Pimp C and his mother had going on. So when you did the thumbnail, I'm not trying to get on you, but Bun like for us to differentiate, what we represent and whatnot, because UGK is basically just Pimp C and Bun B. So UGK Posse is kind of like all of us, the guys that was with Pimp C, and UGK Records again. Also, it's the same guys that was with Pimp C. So I'm not UGK. I'm UGK affiliated, but UGK Records and UGK Posse.
Okay,
Like the
my
Wu-Tang
bad. Sorry
Clan.
about
You
that.
got the Wu-Tang Clan and you got the Wu-Tang affiliates.
Yeah,
Yeah, just like the Wu. I got you.
already.
Man, your story is so good, and I, well, you'll get into it, but I like how you like stood up, held things down, and plus you're an entrepreneur,
Yes, ma'am.
self-made, and then you're gonna get all into all that. But I was touched that it's still real men that's out there, that's
Appreciate that.
of honor.
Right.
And
Sometimes,
how you was there for his moms and held it down. And then once you realize, which I'm not even going to get into because you're going to tell your own story, but I just want to say, man, I salute to you, man. You're a real brother.
appreciate that. Sometimes I feel like sometimes it's in vain, because
Nah.
you rarely get this recognition. I appreciate that for real.
Yeah. So let's get into it. Like, so you were one of the artists. Were you the first artist signed to Pimp C's mother label, or was it as a manager?
Okay, yeah. She was doing some management for Pimp and Bun, and then when he took his hiatus and went to prison, um, she was doing some management with R.I.P. to our brother Vicious, part of the X Mob, but he wound up going to prison. And so when I got introduced to the concept, his brother-in-law, he speak about in a song, got my first key from my baby mama brother, took that shit, yeah, all that stuff. But I was on the streets doing my entrepreneurship, selling my first CD that I had pressed up. And that bitch was retail, ready, shrink wrap, glass mousted. I'm talking about I was classy out there. You know what I'm talking about? I'm popping the trunk, but I'm classy out there. I ain't out there with no Sharpie on the CD. I'm out there with the real deal that's supposed to be in stores because I actually had a distribution deal, but it fell through. Long story short, his brother-in-law came out and bought 2 copies. Pimp C's brother-in-law. He took one of the copies to Pimp C's mom, and she contacted me like, "Hey, I want to meet him. This and that, this and that." Also during that time, I had a detail shop, a mobile detail service, and a car lot.
Yeah.
Car lot. And so I was financing myself, putting all my money into all my endeavors and whatnot. Which music was my most favorable dream, my ultimate dream. So I always wanted to make enough money so I can invest in myself because I didn't get a record deal and I didn't have an investor. So I became my own investor. So when she sent for me and we talked about who was helping me with all the stuff that I was doing, and when I told her I was like this one man army, it blew her away. So she asked me, did I have management? Now I didn't even know what a manager was, what role they played. And so when she displayed and told me what she did for UGK, it was just a given. Hell yeah, I need you. And then we became more or less like family, you know. It wasn't just about business. She needed somebody, you know. Her son was locked up at the time. And when you think about this big group, UGK, without you seeing the house, the community of people that should be hanging around, the things that should be moved and shaped because of the name, you would think all this beautiful stuff is going on. But in reality, these are humans too, having a human experience going through fake shit, bullshit, whole shit, all kind of shit. And long story short, she actually needed a Trill nigga around her. Because when I actually got there and seen that, damn, no, the door ain't swinging with all these rap niggas who say they got so much love for Pimp C. Yeah, she do need a ride to the store because this and that and this and that. So it became more or less like family instead of just straight business.
Right. So you're saying that there it wasn't like a lot of unity going on once with that the rap scene in that area, like it seemed like people were just not like on one accord at all. Did things
No,
go ahead?
what I'm saying specifically is her becoming my manager and me thinking from the outside looking in, this is Pimp C's mom. Pimp
Mhm.
C being a part of UGK. I'm thinking that her door is being crowded with Pimp C's friends,
Right.
affiliates, and all this
That's
type
why
of
I
stuff.
say you're a real one. I would really like for you. I don't. I really would like for you to go back just a little bit because people don't understand real brothers like you. Like when he came in, you know, he didn't know what was going on with his mother, but he didn't come in with like ill intentions. He didn't come in with greed. He just came in, and then when he started noticing stuff, he stepped up even more, and they became like family. He gonna get into how she was cooking it. I tell you, boy.
Man, hold on, who is you, man? Goddamn, you give me chill, but who that is?
Yeah, baby, I'm good at what I do, baby.
Come on, man.
So
Damn it,
no,
man.
but
Hey, I got chill bump. What the fuck?
yeah, baby. No, because it's like you always hit like the gangster side of artists, and people always want to hear that. Now I want them to know real men exist in them bodies that could be loving and caring and could look out for people, parents, and then make sure they are good. Like when you notice that, on oh, we need each other.
Yeah,
Hold up. And didn't say nothing. You just stood up there and did it. But go on back
I was
now.
I was criticized. I was criticized and accused of seeking out this man, mom, trying to create this relationship so I could use her to get to him. It was all kind of fake ass whole shit being said. But the reality was, when I got there, I witnessed the lack thereof of certain necessities. And, I ain't gonna say I was doing super well because I was independent with what I was doing. So at times, yeah, I had it really popping. But then at times I had to wait for certain things, sales, so forth and so on. So we wound up like just really bonding, spending a lot of time in her kitchen, her cooking, baking chicken, baking German chocolate cakes, and she really prepared me to be around her son. Like I knew him, from seeing him around my city, but this is the intimate details from a mother who really loves a child who's actually seeking out somebody who really solid to be amongst her son. So she
Now,
gave me all kind of intel about this and that, this
but
and that.
hold up, my brother.
Uh
You
huh.
still you still speeding ahead. Get back to the part when she was noticing the things that you were doing, and she thought that you had a lot of people behind you, and she was shocked when you was like, "No, that's all me." That's come
Right.
on now. Don't sell yourself
So
short now.
so basically what I did was I got back into the music and I met a friend of mine named Jay Will. He was behind DMD 25 Lighters. He was one of the CEOs. Well, he had the studio with his partners on the west side of Port Arthur called Hiroshima. And so he wanted to get into the car business. I wanted to get back into the studio. So we did a little perfect marriage. So long story short, he was teaching me what he knew, but at a certain point, he wound up dying. And so when he died, I was left alone again to try to figure out what I'm gonna do. And I wound up having a trip scheduled to LA with him to do some recording and meet some guys and whatnot. And two of the guys was from my hometown, being financed by BJ Tyler, the basketball player. He had him in Hollywood with a nice, big old, like kind of like a mini mansion with a bunch of studios in it. And they encouraged me to still fly out, even though I was mourning and not knowing what to do next. And so I flew out and I recorded a mixtape, which I freestyled for almost like 12 hours straight. We spun a
Mm-hmm.
night in the studio and I just freestyled and they put that together. So when I came home, I got money together and I found my graphic designer. I found the pressing plant. Long story short, I put on every hat that I needed to put on to make this project, complete and put it out. And that's how when she and I met, I was able to break all that down to her and let her know, like, yeah, I have a couple of workers when I'm doing the detail stuff or when I'm doing this or that, but mostly it's just all on me. And so she was really like excited about that. And so we started engaging and she tried to call Greg Streets. She tried to call everybody she could to start introducing me, you know what I'm saying, out there. But yeah, it was pretty much she needed me, like you said, and I needed her. And it was like I became the son while Pimp was gone, you know. We did a whole lot of personal shit outside of just business, going to the store type shit. She tried to get me a deal in Houston. She was trying to get me married off to some kind of situation so I could elevate, but it just business wise, if you tell me about $10,000 back then, I'm not excited. I'm already in my mid 20s. I got business going on, so you're talking about a $10,000 contract. I'm looking at that shit like, man, go on with that. I don't need that, man. Put some more zeros on that shit.
Uh-huh.
But you
Mm.
know what? I did want to say that you do have your own trauma to triumph story, like that you wasn't always, there was times that you actually had like 'cause we weren't we me and you talked about the whole influence in hip hop of drugs and how like it was like popularized doing lean and wet was really popular back then in the hip hop scene in Houston. And I think you said that you had some experiences with that and then you overcame that. So I'd like to
Yeah.
touch a bit on that.
Okay. So the whole drug thing, let's say from a kid on up to about 12. 12, I started experiencing deaths in the family. Um,
Mm.
I got about, four siblings, and I'm the only child with my dad. So on his side, his dad died, then his mother died, my grandparents. I didn't know my grandfather dead in death, but I knew my grandmother. But at 12, 11, I don't really understand what death is. And so when my mama finally explained that never coming back again, it kind of sent me into a shock. So she allowed me to drink alcohol. So from the age 12, I started drinking a bit. 13 all the way on up, I became a young alcoholic. Um, During that time, it was just a whole bunch of finding myself and learning myself. PA, the canvas of PA was really aggressive, a lot of ignorance and poverty, and just like anybody else, hood, the crack cocaine pandemic, epidemic
Mm.
hit in the 80s and whatnot. So the streets turned very wicked. And coming up in an environment, you either was going to be, a predator or a prey. So I was learning how to become a predator. So
Mm.
during this time, I started to lose myself being out in the streets, and I almost got charged with accessory to murder. That was a situation in itself with some other people, and I walked away scot free because I had nothing really to do with it. I couldn't help the case nor hurt the case. You know what I mean? So during this time, the people I was dealing with, we got into a business endeavor, and so I'm already like smoking weed and drinking alcohol on a daily basis. And once we did this business endeavor and it went south, I lost myself. I was battling with wanting to do some real crazy type shit. So I started experimenting more with the what we call formaldehyde or wet, you know what I'm saying, or fry or water. So they also call it dip down where I'm from. I'm from Port Arthur, but we spent a good bit of time in Houston. So the whole drink epidemic, smoking the fry and all that type of shit, it was really like prevalent around the early '90s, mid '90s. And it's a hallucinant drug that you're taking, and then when you're sipping the codeine, the drink, and all that, you're taking a downer. You know what I mean? So you really on some dark type thought shit. But the whole drink epidemic, it was really around way before the '90s. It just got really popular once the Houston culture, took on to it, and DJ Screw and all that, you know what I'm saying? So once the Houston culture, picked up on the whole codeine, cough syrup, drink situation, it became a cultural thing all over the world. But we knew about that back in the day in Port Arthur with a gentleman named Doc Henley. He actually was a pharmacist, but some shit happened in his life and he pulled some street shit and he wound up going to prison. So when he come back, he's actually cooking these how could I say, these concoctions, and he's serving it to the youth in the '70s. So the whole drink culture, yeah, it got popularized in Houston, you know what I'm saying, in the '90s. But in Port Arthur, this shit was already being talked about. It was called sleigh rides back then. And they said that the teenagers would line up for blocks going to this nigga make ready drugstore to get a little old thimble or a little old cup of some shit called sleigh ride, but it was actually codeine with promethazine. And there's plenty of stories with them boys had going on back then. Same type shit that started happening in the '90s, but it
Mhm.
was way more potent. Like some of my uncles and older cousins, they'll tell me about being at a party or a dance called like the Superfly, where it was kind of like a team dance, and nigga full of that sleigh ride, basically that purple drink. Nigga then
Mm.
drove his car through the goddamn club. Nigga parked on the dance floor. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. So the shit been around, but yeah, that whole culture right there, I got caught up in it. I was more a fry smoker and an alcohol drinker. Uh, the drink really wasn't for me because I consumed a whole lot of alcohol, and that shit's so potent. If you drink it the wrong way and don't sip it and try to enjoy it, that shit will knock
Oh.
your ass out cold.
Oh.
Wow. Oh man. And so, knowing how addictive that wet is, how hard was it to kick that habit?
Mhm.
To me, the smoking the dip wasn't addictive for me because I would have so many episodes that were near death experiences or near taking a nigga life type experience. So knowing that's not really who I am, my personality, it was almost like I was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde because, for instance, Trill's story. Trill's story starts now. I'm smoking dip, and me and my family finna go to this club and shit. And I done got fried out. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking around that bitch tripping. And you got to mind, I'm 6'3". I'm probably like 250 pounds. I'm just this raw, musty ass, crazy ass youngster. And I'm off that fry. You know what I mean? So I'm in the club and that fry kicked in, and I heard niggas way at the back of the club shooting pool. I heard the balls rolling. I heard a nigga digging in his pocket, rustling change. I heard a coin hit the floor and topple once that bitch landed. I heard hoes talking about we finna get this nigga to buy us a bottle of I'm in that bitch just straight tripping. But I got a big old ass pistol in my pocket. So all that shit popped off, and then we go outside, and one of my kinfolk, tall, pretty ass yellow chick, she see one of these niggas that like her so well. She like, look, do me a favor. I'm gonna talk to you later, but get my little cousin home. This nigga out here tripping. You know what I'm saying? I don't know really what's going on. I'm out there gorillaing like a motherfucker. So I see another one of my cousins from Vegas. He talking with a nigga, but while I'm watching him talk to the nigga, I'm standing behind him. I see the nigga throwing his hands up like this. I'm thinking the nigga aggressive, right? So, cause I'm off that fry, I come out with that 38, put it to the nigga head. Say, bitch ass nigga, don't be talking to my motherfucking cousin like that, hoe. Nigga, I'll blow this bitch. And like everybody at the club, like just looking and shit, everybody going crazy. And my cousin say, my nigga, put the gun down. This my homeboy. He ain't tripping. And so everybody just telling me, man, you tripping. You tripping. So I'm like, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? So finally they got me to tuck the gun because I wouldn't give it to nobody. So I took the bitch back in my pocket and they put me in the back seat of this nigga car. And I don't know why this nigga let me get in the back seat. That nigga was brave as hell. And that nigga drove me home, man. When that nigga got to my house, that nigga say, bro, get out. I'm still sitting in the nigga car like, man, bring me back by the club, my nigga. And then nigga like, bro, get out. You know what I'm saying? So episodes like that, multiple episodes like that, nah, that fry wasn't addictive for me. Um, Pretty much like the lifestyle, the streets, all the bullshit that went with it. I think that was more addictive to me, but not the fry.
So and a lot of times people that take that fry, they don't remember what happened. So you remember vividly these things, or did people have to tell you what happened?
Man, my mind is impeccable. I remember raps I wrote in elementary school, but yeah, it's a certain level you can go. It's like that song Rakim had back in the day, Know the Ledge.
Oh, my favorite.
Yeah, I love that shit.
I think you've been around me, Trill, somewhere, somewhere. We've been around each other. You know what I'm saying? Uh
Yeah,
huh.
yeah.
But that's a
So
double meaning. But go ahead.
when you don't know the ledge
Mm-hmm.
and you smoke past that ledge, you might not return.
Mm-hmm.
I know multiple people that were normal, but they smoked past that ledge and they're abnormal now. They'll never be the same. People who could have attended college and had bright futures. Niggas walking around with nut hugging shorts on, afros with bird nests off in that bitch. Nigga can't even put a sentence together because he done smoked past that ledge.
Right. So you was able to overcome that, and that's when you became, you had that close call with going to prison. Is that kind of what took your life that made you turn things around and get back on point, or was it another thing that kind of happened that
Yeah.
made you say, you know what, that's enough for me?
Uh, that type of shit, whole bunch of bullets flying by my head, and I could hear the pew, ping. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. And then I seen my son, my first child born, and I had an experience that I still can't explain to this day. Um, I was dating somebody that had a certain makeup, but we didn't get to the point of having children. And so the lady that I did have the children with, um, she had a total different makeup. But when my son was born, they sent me to the store to get a camera or something. And I had a vision in my mind of what my son looked like. And I seen my son's eyes. I actually seen him before I saw him. And so when I went to the store to get the camera, I was stopped by the police. And the police was like, "Are you on any kind of drug?" And I'm like, kind of just high off of life. And I'm like, "Nah, wow, what's up?" He like, "You just ran 3 red lights." I'm like, "Oh, something was something was going on." I don't know what it was, but something was just I was tuned into something else. And I told him, "Nah, man, my baby just born this and that, this and that, and I'm going to get a disposable camera." He said, "Man, congratulations, but pay attention to the stoplights and everything, and make it back to the hospital." So when I got back to the hospital, I walked in the room what is like the incubators when they got the babies in a little glass deal. It's called an incubator or whatever.
Yes, incubator. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it was about 5, 6 babies in incubators. I walked in there, my family all just adoring the glass. And when I walked to the glass, I pointed at the incubator where my boy was, and I said, "That's my son right there." And it blew my family mind. Like, how in the hell you know that's your son? I'm like, I saw him already. And so when the lady picked him up and brought him to the window and shit, and that nigga opened his eyes, the nigga had green eyes, just like I saw in my mind. I say, "Damn it, boy. God, I don't know what you telling me or what you got going, but this just kept
Oh,
blowing my mind."
beautiful.
So after that, We took the baby home, you know what I'm saying? And I got these Cadillacs. I got this 84 Cadillac black on gangster white walls with 86 spokes, two prong spinners. And I got another one. I got a root beer color one with the same type rims, the Al Capone fat gangster white walls and shit. Shit you ain't even supposed to be putting on no 1980 car, but I wanted that shit, you know what I mean? And so I'm riding down the street, but now I got a car seat in the back seat. And I saw one of my enemies, and the nigga swung on me. Boom, what's up, fool? Like we normally do, have some bullshit going on. And it hit me like, damn, I got all this dumbass street shit going on, and I got this brand new innocent baby who haven't done nothing in his life that don't deserve nothing but my protection. I'm like, man, I got to close these accounts. So I
Mm.
started going to every nigga that I knew I had beef with, and I say, nigga, you want to box it out, pop it out, stab it out, fight it out? What you want to do, bitch ass nigga? Say, man, you was thinking that day, man. I don't want no issue. I go to the next nigga. Yeah, nigga, that's what happened. What you want to do? Say, man, I don't want nothing. So my last ultimate fucking enemy that I knew about, I seen a nigga at the club one day. I knew it. Both of us in the club, this shit was finna go haywire. But I didn't make no scene. I waited till he went in the restroom by himself, and I respect what happened because as a man, we done some shit to each other, you know. Uh, he could have took it to a whole nother level, and so could I. But when I asked him, you know, what did he want to do? He said, "Man, I remember when we were younger, we all were cool." So that let me know he didn't want to get physical. He wanted to talk it out. And so we had a man to man conversation. And at the end of that conversation, it was like, if I see you, you can deuce me if you want, or you can ignore me, but don't play with me no more. And he was on the same shit. He knew that if we played with each other again after that night, somebody was going to hell and somebody was going to jail because there was no more time to play. And once we closed that account, and I walked out of that club, it was like I had a new life. I went and started raising my child and, you know, taking care of my family, bought a house, so forth and so on. And my main focus was my woman and my children.
Wow, that's honorable. Wow. That's one hell
I
of a story.
told you. I told you this man, he's an honorable man. And I was like, you know what? I'm really glad we're talking to this man. So we give him his flowers, you know? And everything you're saying stands with honor, you know? You started, a lot of people don't have that thought process of wanting to do better and wanting to change their life. And now you're gonna have to get into which one you did first. Like right after you got out of that, was it what gave you the idea? I think it was with the cars, and then they didn't even know that you was the owner or something. And then
Yeah.
you had the like you got like 50 jobs here, right?
Okay. So the young family, we get the house, you know, we get accomplished. I bought a house on an owner finance. I bought this program called Caught in Sheets, how to buy houses with no money down type shit. I
Okay,
studied I studied the white boy program. Then at the bottom of
hello.
that bitch it said money back guarantee. I sent that bitch back and got my money back.
Okay, okay. I never
But
knew that.
I
I
wound up
never
get,
knew that.
I was niggling, you did. But I
Uh-huh.
wound up getting the house. We get the 3 bedroom, everything good. We move about the hood. But I got a little popularity from the streets and I look good. You know what I mean? So everywhere I
Uh-huh.
go, the
Uh.
the women own a nigga and I don't know how to say no. So I'm sitting up there cheating like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? So,
Allegedly.
so one day my baby mama was going to work and I was thinking to myself, this lady going to work hard as hell, playing her position. And when she leave, I'm going to do this bullshit. And I had a come to Jesus moment. I said, God, did you
Mm.
put me here just to be this minimal? To be a
Mm-hmm.
man whore, to be a slut? Come on, God. And
Wow.
so I just started begging, like, God, come on, man, give me something to do. I'm uneducated. You know, I'm running around here thinking I'm this and I'm that. I ain't shit. Is this girl going to work every day, taking care of these kids, and I'm going to sleep with these different hoes in these 3-hour motels for $15 from a mustache Pakistan nigga? And then I'm trying to short him and give him 10. You know what I mean? Got a
Mm-hmm.
whole 4 hours on a nigga thinking I'm Tupac around here, bitch. But nah, come on, God, I need something to do. And man, that night God talked to me and he programmed me. I stayed up 24 hours with God downloading information in my head. Detail shops, car lots, clothing lines, this and that, lawn services. And next thing you know, I couldn't go to sleep. And she went to work again that next morning. She like, what kind of drugs are you on? And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't on no drug. And so it was probably like 9:30 a.m. And I'm like, God, what I supposed to do? God, like, I'm tired.
Mm.
I want to go to sleep. And then I said, God, let me get some rest. And once I'm rested up, I'll get started. As soon as I said that, boom, I went to sleep. And when I
Wow.
woke up that next day or later on that day, my life was changed. I no
Wow.
longer went back to the same places. I stopped smoking weed. I stopped drinking so much. I started doing research on how to do this, how to do that, how to open this. I wrote a stack of raps that I still have. You know what I'm saying? Like just downloaded in my head. I'm just brrr, brrr, brrr. I wrote hooks and verses and all that type of shit, like just effortlessly. And I wrote down all my ideas and I manifested pretty much every idea he put in my head. I started a lawn service. I started curbside and selling cars and shit. And then I took the curbside and selling cars to actual a small used car dealership. Then we got a detail shop on Guffway. Then we got another detail shop on Twin City and Port Arthur. And then we did a mobile detail service. And then I did the clothing line tight white Trill gear, which I still sell to this day.
Wow, Ashe. There you go, Trill. Oh, go ahead. So,
And any no good cocksucker talking some shit about what's what, nigga, that shit say since 2000. Come on, man. You know what I mean?
hey,
Since
you know what I'm saying?
2000.
24 years. That's wow, that's something else. That's something that's longevity right there.
Yeah, because I was thinking about longevity and consistency. Everybody thought like, "Ooh, let's blow up. Let's." And I'm like, man, I'm trying to learn the nuts and bolts of this shit so we can have some consistency and some longevity. I'm trying to bring you along so we can build something really big and have some resources we all can benefit. And plenty of people joined the journey. Plenty of people jumped off the motherfucking ship. But I'm still on that goddamn ship with or without.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into where you met you. So Pimp C comes out of jail. You've been working with his mom for this time. He
No,
comes out with
he got
prison.
he got to get to the point where he didn't think nobody thought that it was going to happen, right? So he's still, by her side and everything, and nobody thinks that is going. Go ahead, now you can take over,
I
my
like
brother.
that. I like that. I like that. Okay, so my independence is becoming me and mama. We go and do these hole in the wall shows. Uh, we're getting these false claims that Pimp C is about to be released, but it's false. He's not coming. And time, keeps passing, and she and I still making our moves. Um, I wouldn't say we got stagnant. I didn't have any hit records. I was an underground artist. I didn't have no real big budget. So my impact was affiliating, rubbing shoulders, knowing the Slim Thugs, the Power Wows, the Kikis. Man, look my partner in here, Daryl. This one of the knee high homies that can second and 100 everything I'm saying, man. But yeah,
Hey,
so
Carol.
yeah, hey man, speak to my homie Daryl. Yeah. So we started making the impact of affiliation, but we needed that next you know. And so for a while it looked like Pimp wasn't coming. And people started to just, oh, you just over there taking up space. Nigga, that shit ain't going nowhere. That shit ain't gonna do nothing. And I kind of ran out of budgeting because some of my, things I was doing, my old lady left me and I went through that type of situation. And so it's around 2004, I put out a project called Dome Call Reloaded Volume 2. which was a beautiful mixtape. I'm talking about very impeccable sounding. If you listen to this thing today, you would think it was recorded yesterday. And the thing is from 2004. So I was always in tune with the quality of what I was doing, which Mama preached that to me. She said this is something that Pimp always spoke about, quality over quantity. At first, I was thinking about quantity, but once she, beat that in my head, I made sure everything I did was quality, from the graphics to the sound of the music, from the way I dressed, just everything about my situation. And so I'm over there and we doing these hole in the wall clubs and whatnot, and things are kind of looking like it's gonna slow down. Well, one of my homeboys get budgeted. Shout out to my homie Hard Time. He
Is
get
Pimp
budgeted.
C her only child?
Yeah, he an only child.
So that's why she took to you too. See, you're a man of honor.
She had a lot of babies though. I can't sit here and take that. She had a lot of babies, but I was one of her main
Uh-huh.
babies. Man,
Uh-huh.
Annie Boo, I know you
I
niggas
didn't
hate.
know he was an only child. So
Yeah. So here it is. My partner get budgeted, and this is the steam that I need to carry me through because something incredible is about to happen that people was doubting. You dig?
mhm.
So my partner get budgeted, and he come up with this single called Showstopper. He working out of my studio, putting his album together, this and that. And shout out to Ava Rex and Beatmaster, the dope producers that gave me that quality sound. So he's working with these guys, and he puts me on this single, which it ain't the type of music I make. I don't really have rhythm. I'm kind of like a rapper. Like my little brother that's incarcerated, my partner Hard Time, Pimp C, those are rhythmic guys. Those are music soul type making guys. I'm like Bun B. I'm some old rapping ass nigga. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
my partner called me and he like, man, I want you to get on this song. And it's a dance song for the ladies. I don't really do that, but he like, man, you need to be on it. Long story short, he put me on it. It's a good record. It has such a local buzz. It hit radio. We start doing shows. Now we're like in the club with an actual song that people on the dance floor are fucking with. Now the Slim Thugs, the Power Walls, and all these people, they're seeing me in the capacity of associated with performing now instead of just doing mixtape songs. So we meet a dude in Houston named Big Bank Hank. Shout out to Hank. So Hank take us all the way through the circuit of H Town. H Town is like a fucking island of its own, man. It has so much to do, so many places to go. Back then, it was like everybody did the same thing. They went to the day parties, they went to all the popping clubs they could at the time, and then they went to the after hours spot. It was just that's how you did it in that order. Then you go to the strip club. So right before Pimp come home, we moving around with this record, and at the tail end of that record in our movement, we get on a little mini tour with Chameleon now.
Oh.
He had the song called Turn Up back then. I'ma show you how to get your shine on, blah, 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 such and such, whatever. So we do
Uh-huh.
a few shows with him by way of Big Bank Hank, who introduced us to the promoters and the investors or whatever. And these guys see my talent, so they're utilizing me to make the commercials for the show, the vocal commercials and whatnot, helping with the promotion. So I'm triple tied into this situation. But we get to about the last show with Chameleon now, and Mama get a phone call, and the phone call is Pimp C is being released tomorrow. And we get
Wow, wow. So that was like, okay, that was the highlight of the night. I bet you, like, y'all was celebrating. Y'all was, yes, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
but this time it's different because this person is an inside track, and they're calling Mama play by play. He over here doing this. He over here doing that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna hit you
Uh-huh.
back. Okay, boom. We do a show with we go to Bun B show. We in Houston. Now, Mama done told me what it was. I already know, you know what I'm saying? So I know Bun know, but while we on stage with Bun, it's like 2, 3 in the morning. Bun like, man, next time y'all see me, I got a surprise for y'all. Man, my motherfucking brother might be with me. And everybody like, what? Yeah, Pimp C getting out tomorrow. Everybody going crazy. So Bun grabbed me, he hugged me like, man, you know what's up. I'm like, yeah, nigga, I'm going to be there. You know what I'm saying? So everything was good. We got the play-by-play. And then Mama was kind of like nervous, as she should have been. And so all the people started spreading the word. Now all these people who were saying, "Oh nigga, you over there, oh nigga, fuck you, this and that, this and that," that shit slowly turning around. These hoe ass nigga went to calling me left and right. Say, man, the pimp coming on, man. Say, man, bring that nigga by me, man. Say, man, tell that nigga, you know what I mean? But then some Trill young niggas that's entrepreneurs who had some great businesses, they also called too. They're like, hey man, come by here and pick up a couple cell phones for pimp. Man, tell them, hey man, just whenever stop by and show me some love or whatever. But I want to gift them this. Nigga call from a clothing store. Say, man, come pick up some clothes, some shoes, man. Tell pimp this and that, this and that. And that happened with about 3-4 stores. And I got a big ass black utility bag. You dig? And I went to all these motherfucking stores like Santa Claus picking up this shit. And mama called me like, hey, we finna go to Huntsville to pick Chad up. You coming? I say, mama, go get your baby. I say, I'm moving around collecting some stuff, some gifts that they want to give him. I say, I'll see y'all when y'all get back. She said, well, meet me in Houston. So I met her in Houston at this one club during the daytime. And shout out to Big 50. He took her down there to pick him up. I met him in the parking lot. She like, you sure you're not coming? But she was just nervous. You know what I'm saying? She was just
Yeah.
nervous. And I hugged her. I say, mama, go get your baby. I'll let me when y'all get back. You know what I mean? So I continued what I was doing. And she called me probably like 3-4 hours later. She said, he at the house. He want to see you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. I know you, man.
Yes.
And you loaded him up, and I'm going. Oh man, that's so honorable. That man. God bless you for that. You
Yeah. So
down,
go
honey.
ahead. So he playing Santa Claus, right? Because he got all these nice things for support of they want to show him some love. So now go.
Man, you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
All that excitement and love and greatness
Mm-hmm.
got swept away in such
Mm.
a short period of time.
Mm.
And as I smiled big like that, I was reminded, damn it, man.
Yeah,
What
we're
else
going.
y'all got?
When you first get to the door, when you get to the house and you meet him, then what happens?
Okay, so I make it into town, and everybody who go to mama house, they know that we go, through the back, through the garage. And once you go through the garage, the kitchen is right beyond this little area, washroom, restroom, or whatever. And she's normally sitting there in the kitchen. But this time in the kitchen, the windows are open and there's this beautiful ray of sun. They got the whole kitchen glowing, and she's at peace.
Mm-hmm.
She's one again. And she say, nigga, you ain't came to see me. I say, yes, I did. And I gave her a hug. She said, we got him, baby. We got him. She say, he in the game room. Go holler at him. So I get my big Santa Claus ho 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 bag and go walk in the game room. And they got the sunroof in the game room. I think it's called a Hezeleo or whatever. And he's sitting back in the leather chair and he just looking out the roof. I guess he like, damn, I'm really home. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I walk in, he say, he's easy, baby. What's up? You know what I'm saying? And so I go get a nigga a dap and a hug, and man, he embraced me, you know what I'm saying, on some brother shit. And he
Mm-hmm.
said, man, thank you, man. My mama told me everything. He say, man,
Mm.
thank you, my nigga. He say, nigga, we finna get rich. We
Ow.
finna get filthy rich, nigga. Texas niggas. Know what I'm talking about? And
Ow.
just that right there, it was like, God damn, nigga, this shit is for real. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
This pimp C for real. I'm who I am for real. And what we about to do is really trill. You know what I'm talking about, man?
Uh-huh. I got you.
So I give my nigga this big ass bag and shit. He digging through there. He like, damn, man. I say, yeah, man, that just, niggas we know got love for you, you know what I'm saying? Saying welcome home. And if you ever wanna stop by and come say, hey, thank you, you know what I'm saying? They'd appreciate it. He like, we gonna do just that. So he like, man, what you gonna do tonight? I said, I'm on the last day of this tour I was on with Chameleon now. And he said, man, that's what the fuck I'm talking about. Nigga making moves, not waiting on me to come home. Nigga taking the bull by the horns, going get it. Nigga, he like, nigga, I love that shit. He say, man, do me a favor. Tell that nigga Chameleon now I want that candy red drop. Trill story starts now. He say, man, tell Chameleon now I want that. He say, matter of fact, when you get next to that nigga, put me on the phone with that nigga. I say, that's
Uh-huh.
what it is. So I sat down and shit, and we talked for probably about 5 more minutes. But about that time, niggas started coming in. You know what I'm saying? 4, 5 different niggas came in, and mama sent them to the game room. They sat down, they were chilling and everything. So mama waited till we got the hooping and hollering, ha ha, he he. And then mama walked in and she say, excuse me, my precious angel baby. She's talking to Pimp. She say, I just want to tell you something. And he like, what's that? She say, that nigga right there, I don't even know him. She say, that one right there, he probably came to see your mama one time while you was locked up. And him, he came probably twice. Him, I don't even know him. Then she put her hand on my shoulder. She said,
Dang.
but my big precious angel baby Heezy, he was right here with your mama the whole time. Then she
Mama
walked
real.
out.
Mama real.
She walked out. I
Wow.
say, damn it, she didn't put me on the coals.
She real as them dinners she was kicking you, that she was cooking you, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, if these niggas don't already hate me, these niggas gonna hate me after this.
Thank you, Zay Sanchez, for the super chat.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Zay.
my
Shouts out
nigga
to
Zay.
Hezeleo, the legendary Sweet James Jones, Pimp C, Chad Lamont Butler, rest in paradise. She will never be forgotten. We will carry on the UGK movement and the Trill Cats family members salute.
Already, man.
Now,
Yeah.
at that point of his coming home, was Bun him and Bun B together or not together? Was he there or not there? What was that dynamic?
Bun was at the prison to meet and greet him, you know what I'm saying, when he came home, but he didn't go to Houston and stay in Houston. He came to Port Arthur. And Bun lived in Houston. He lives in Houston, you know what I'm saying? But Pimp came to PA to Mama house. Um, so after we finished talking, I went on to the crib to get ready for that show because we had the show with Chameleon now. And here's a time where me and Chameleon now, we had been doing these dates. And I thought the dude was really cool. I knew he was educated, you know, I knew he was on some business type shit. And I thought he was cool because we was able to hang out a few times. But this particular night, when he walked up, he was mobbing with all his crew. And I was like, hey, Cam, Pimp on the phone. He want to holler at you. And so he like, you hear this nigga? Nigga talking about Pimp on the phone. Pimp who, nigga? I say, nigga, Pimp C on the phone. You hear this nigga? Nigga talking about Pimp C on the phone. I say, yeah, nigga. Pimp on the phone, nigga. Take the motherfucking phone. And so OG Ron C, you know what I'm saying, legendary nigga from Houston, he popped Cam on the arm like, take the phone, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Nigga get the phone. Hello? Bitch ass nigga start jumping up and down. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then at first he want to look at me like I'm playing or something. You know what I mean? He kind of rubbed me wrong when he did that. But it all smoothed out. But it just goes to show you like niggas be faking on some flip flop shit. Bitch ass nigga, when I met you how I was. When I introduced you on the phone to my nigga, I still was the same. After the fact, I'm still the same. And still to this day, I'm still the same. But your character switched. But you got to live with that. You know what I mean? Because I represent this trio shit for real, bitch ass nigga.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but
See, it's some
hey,
people in the audience. And some people in the audience that want to ask some questions. Do we bring them up now, or do we wait to tell a little more of the story?
Well, no, let him finish a little bit more of the
yeah,
story
so let
because
me let me
we
let me
want
say
right,
this. So
right. Let him finish. Then we'll drop the links
they
and everything.
connected, and later on, you know, Pimp got what he wanted. Pimp wanted that motherfucking candy red dropper, that L dog, that Cadillac. You know what I'm saying? He wanted that. And he wound up getting that. And he wound up doing some business with them because they had a shop where they redid cars. Like they refurbished cars. I forgot what you call it, but he dropped off two of his cars to the man's shop. You know what I'm saying, to get redid. And I was the one took the cars over there. But man, I'm giving y'all way too many Trill stories, man. So get to something else, man.
Okay.
Hold up. Today is your day.
You can't get all
It's
my Trill
It's
stories,
all
bro.
it's all
stories.
about you, boo.
Hey,
It's all about
listen.
you,
After
boo.
this, listen, we gonna promote Trill stories. This is what it's about, right? This is what
Man,
y'all.
y'all can't get all my Trill stories, man. I'm gonna start giving y'all them old hood ass stories.
Today is your day. It's
Yeah.
all about
No,
you.
right.
What we got?
Trill stories. So if y'all, like check out his page. It's called. Just look up. Type in Hezeleo.
I believe everybody here is on the Trill train, baby. They're on the Trill
Yeah.
train.
There's no reason not
His
to be.
pages, you'll see his music. If you type that he's a Leo into
No, he ain't a Leo, but he's a Leo.
He's a
right. He might as well
Scorpio.
be. He's a fire sign. No, he a water sign. So
Yeah, I gotcha. Now, let me stop.
A Scorpio is a
no,
water.
yeah, sugar
Scorpio's
loves
a
Leo.
water.
Sugar
Oh,
loves Leo. So you can't be claiming Leo. But
you know,
anyways,
I salute to you too, my brother. Now, okay. So how was you in his relationship? Like afterwards, you and Pimp C. He's home now. He said y'all gonna make some money. Like, did y'all bond, or I mean, outside of the mother putting y'all, did y'all form your own bond?
Yeah, we did. It was a little rocky at first because a lot of people, like, we're around the same age, so we know all the same people. So a lot of people he was going around was shitting on my name, like that nigga this, that nigga that nigga, like they was just like feeding him all kind of dumbass information, and he knew, what his mama told him, but he had to kind of listen to what they were saying to watch me. But soon as he got out, we started doing business immediately. He had a welcome home party that Rap a Lot threw for him, and he wanted somebody from his team, from Mama's side at the door to watch the money. And so he sat me down like, man, I cannot trust you to be in this position, and will you handle this for me? And I told him, my nigga, it's an honor. You know, I'm really glad you home, and I'm really glad they finna bless your game like that. So I'm gonna handle this shit on a sober mind, straight focus, like no games being played. He like, that's what I'm talking about. So that was the first business we did when he came home. I was at the door to help tally up the money made at the door so it can go to him after certain expenses. That was a whole fucking Trill story in itself. You know what I'm
Now,
talking about? But
at that time, were um were there were they were doing the songs with Andre 3000 and oh god, that's a shame. I got you on here. I can't even think of the name of the group. But were you
Outkast,
Outcast? Did you know them? Were you familiar with them? Was he down? Was they doing songs with Outcast and the Goody Mob and them yet? Like, did
yeah,
you fit in any part of that?
yeah. So that was a bit later once he was home. This what I'm talking about is like days, like the next day, days a
Mhm,
week.
mhm,
So that came a little bit later, the international players anthem, and it's a story behind that. That was a song that was actually out before. I think it was for Project Pat, but it was a song that Pimp C wanted. And yeah, they had relationships with 3 6 Mafia,
mhm,
Goody Mob, Outkast, like that goes way back because all those guys came up together from that era. One of Pimp close partners that he fooled with outside of being too short is Big Gip from Goody Mob. Like these niggas
mhm,
talk every day. And
mhm,
so yeah, like all those old school rappers and shit, Pimp had pick up the phone, direct lines on all these dudes. He talked to Birdman a whole bunch, E40, all those type of guys. But the Outcast song came a bit later.
mhm.
This was like, probably like a few days after he was home.
But not
Uh,
the song in particular. I'm just talking about them as people. Like,
Yeah.
did he know? Right. That's what I'm saying.
Here's a
Not
Yeah,
question. Here's a question I want. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
those relationships strain back all the way back. So yeah, he was already directly tied in as almost brothers with a lot of them dudes already.
So here's a question. So as time went on, did your relationship get like kind of separated because of like the Hollywood, the
Mhm.
Hollywood aspect of things, where people kind of scooped them up, and you're like kind of left back home, or did he just say no, he gonna be with me no matter what? So what?
Right. Right.
Here's the thing. No, we didn't get separated because he wasn't no Hollywood nigga. He was
Right.
a he was a Port Arthur nigga. He was on Trill time. So a lot of the major shit like the game belonged to me video and all that, I was right there. Pulling up video, all that, I was right there. But he had this thing he used to tell me about playing my position. But my position had so many damn lanes that I would be in multiple lanes playing my position. But a lot of things that he did, if you didn't see me in the actual video or in the footage, I was behind the scenes or I wasn't there. So the 2 years, close to 2 years that he was home, damn near 85% of the stuff he was doing, I was right there with him. The shows he made me to open an act, the merchandise, he put me over selling the merchandise. So I was on the road with him. And here's something I did that a lot of people didn't understand. When he first started taking us on the road, it was about 5, 6 of us. And you know, when the artists come home, they superiorly hot. Like everybody want to book them. So that means that their prices is skyrocketing. So as he was taking us on the road, he was paying us, but he was paying me, but I wasn't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? You're
Mhm.
helping me by taking me on the road, exposing me to different audiences. So for you to actually pay me money plus that, I told him stop paying me. And he like, nigga, what you tripping on, nigga? And I said to myself, when things slow down, you're gonna cut expenses. And if I'm being a liability, taking money from you when I'm actually not doing nothing, I'm gonna be an expense that you cut. So instead of me being a fucking liability, let me show you what an asset look like. So when he started taking me on the road, I started banging out all the damn merchandise. So now at the end of the night, instead of you paying me, I'm handing you an envelope full of money. You're a cut of your merchandise.
Wow.
Oh man,
That's
that's awesome. That's
because
awesome.
he's always pulled his weight, even when he was with the money. He always pulled his own weight, and he always had things going. So why stop now, right? I'm glad you didn't let anybody or anything define you, nor your manhood or anything. So salute to you again for that.
I'm
So
collecting them damn salutes. Let me put them holes in my hat. Give me a minute.
right. So listen. So let's kind of get into it, right? So fast forward, I mean, Pimp C becomes like this. He's almost Grammy level. He's about to get a Grammy. Were you there? In was he in California when he passed, or where was he at when this happened?
He was in California. He had just left Dallas, and it was a lot of things that took place up until that point. But right before the California trip, right before the Dallas trip, all the bickering and he say she say it came to an head, and it truly was a waste because I understood Bun and Pimp's position because I got to see so much. Those guys were so in demand that if you want to be around them, you should be somebody who want to alleviate pressure and stress. You shouldn't bring extra because the whole world is pulling at them. Somebody wants something. Some family members calling, some fans calling. Somebody wants something. And if you consider being a human being, put yourself in those people's shoes when everybody's coming at you. At some
Hmm.
point, you need some peace. So I
Yeah.
always tried to be considerate that my nigga was going through a lot in demand as he was. So small shit, I didn't bring it to him. I handled it myself. But there was a lot of jealousy because of my character, and niggas started making up lies and all kind of shit. So at one point, niggas tried to throw me under the bus and create this scenario and a narrative like I was being this weird person only looking out for myself because some things had went bad in Minneapolis and we had to fly back. And so they set up this whole little dumb scenario and I reacted. And it kind of went something like this. We were stuck in Minneapolis because the tour bus had left us and shit. So we stuck a few extra days. And I'm a whole grown man like everybody else, got kids, house, this and that, this and that. And people were like, hey, when you coming home? I thought you said you was coming home this day or that day. And so sharing the dilemma with our people, everybody nerves on edge because things are not falling in place. And so one of the road managers, nigga named Mike Moe, he put the key in my partner back who was with me, Big Bub, and he tell him, that nigga easy this, that nigga easy that. And I hear him, you know what I mean? I got that ultra motherfucking Spider-Man here. I hear the nigga, I hear him setting up the play. He say, watch this. My nigga couldn't get on the plane because he had a bullshit idea or whatever. So he like, watch this. Say, man, if Bub can't get on the plane, you gonna stay behind with him and you know what I'm saying, do whatever, boom, boom, boom. I say, no, nigga. I'm getting on a plane because I got bills I need to go catch and I got a family waiting on me. So no. So I'm being upfront telling them, no, I'm not waiting behind if he have to stay. I'm not being ill. I'm just checking the nigga because I heard the nigga setting the play and I'm telling the nigga directly what the business is. So when we get to the airport, that nigga got an inside track because his people work at the damn airport or whatever. So he gets a flight for himself and probably three other people. And he walked by us, me and my nigga, and say, look like every man for himself, and walked off.
Wow.
When we finally get back,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened, but my nigga Bub go to Pimp and tell him that I said it's every man for himself. Like, fuck y'all, like I'm being on some selfish shit.
Right.
So Pimp called me in the room. He like, hey man, do me a favor. I'm like, what's up? We at this hotel called the Holodome across the street from Papados. He give me like $300-400. Man, go pick this order up for me, and when you come back, I want to holler at you about something. So I go get the order. He give me the change to the shit, probably like $150 change. He like, keep it. So I'm happy. I'm like, okay, what's up? He like, man, what type of shit you on, nigga? Being selfish, nigga talking about it's every man for himself, this and that. He checking me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, this weird. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And so when
Right.
he finally say every man for himself, I say, damn, okay. I say, who told you that? Man, that ain't. I say, it is. It is the case. I need to know who told you that. And he like,
Right.
nigga, you know who told me that. So Bub in the next room. This is my nigga, man. We've been together. I put him in the game. I put him a part of this UGK shit. So I said, man, hold up. Let me show you something. I call Bub in the room and I tell him. I say, man, when we was at the airport, you know what I'm saying, and things kind of went haywire, who said it's every man for himself? He say, shit, Mike Moe. And Pimp
Wow.
say, what? Man, get
Wow.
y'all ass out of here, nigga. I don't know what y'all niggas got going on. So because he couldn't decipher what the fuck was going on at that moment, that
Mm-hmm.
nigga kicked me and Bub off the road.
Wow.
He dried us out. He
Mm-hmm.
dried us out. He hung us out to dry. You know what I'm saying? It got to
Uh-huh.
the point where I was like, man, this shit over with. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go back to, whatever. But mama telling me, hang in there, hang in there, you know what I'm saying? And mama giving me, play by play. Too many people coming up to him, telling him this about you, that about you. I'm like, man, this nigga is searching me over, and all he finding is some fucking Trill shit. I'm not gonna change. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so he was on a plane one day. I think he was going to the international players video shoot, and him and Ed was together. Shout out to my nigga Ed, Trill.biz. I say, man, tell that nigga if it's over, tell me like a man. Yeah, I'm the man. I'm over here
Right.
pockets
Right. Right.
running
Right.
low and shit. I'm hustling my shit, but I ain't hustling like it was. Man, tell that nigga if he ain't want me on the road no more, nigga, tell me like a man. And that nigga in the background, nigga, I'ma holler at you, nigga. Tell that nigga I'ma holler at him when I get back. You know what I mean? And so
Mm.
he finally he hit me up and he came back and he was like, nigga, meet me over here. And so we pull up on him. He said, bring Bub. So me and Bub pull up on him. He said, y'all niggas better get out there bullshit. He said, but meet me tomorrow in Houston. We gonna leave Houston. We got a show in Dallas. Then I'ma talk to y'all. And so shit, man, we wound up going out there and kumbaya like a motherfucker. I recorded songs, had a good time, went to Dallas, did a big old ass show, you know what I'm saying? And came back to the high rise, did more songs, ate, drank, and just the whole UGK posse having some good ass time together and shit. And then after that, he went to Cali, and that's when he never came back home.
Oh my goodness.
So
So
who tallied with him? Was it the same guy that said, or was there some other people that were there that you didn't
yeah,
know?
You said who traveled with him?
yeah,
To California? Who was with
yeah.
him?
Who was with him?
That you weren't with him, which you probably should have
No.
been, but you know.
Well, trips like that he wouldn't have took me. Like I said, I was with him 85% of the time, but his cousin Ed was with him damn near 93% of the time. So that's
Mm-hmm.
who would have been with him, Ed, and probably one of his guards. You know, if
Yeah.
anybody. But there's some miscommunications there. Why Ed didn't go, or some things said like there's shit on the internet, and so Ed's still confused, like why the conversation got miscommunicated and he didn't go. But he wound up going up there, and I think his wife was up there with him. You know what I mean? But then she came back. So after that, he never came back.
My. My good. So when you got the news, right? Like where was your mind at? Like from what was said and then from you knowing him, like where was your
How,
mindset
first of all,
at?
how did you hear about it at first? Did you hear about it
Right,
on the news, or did you hear about it from people?
right, right,
I
right.
was I remember exactly where I was when I heard about it. I was on a street called 25th Street in Port Arthur, next to a graveyard,
Mm,
and I was coming to the light, and I looked at the graveyard, and I started back looking straight, and I got a phone call. My homeboy DJ Mr. Three, and he said, "I'm sorry, man. Hate what happened to your brother, man. I'm sorry what happened to your brother." I'm like, "What you talking about?" He said, "You didn't hear? Hear what? Pimp dead. Pimp died." And I hung up on him. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go
mm,
through the light, and I hung up on him, and I hurry up and call mama. So when I called mama, all she could say is, "He gone. He gone."
mm.
And then she screamed. And then I just shit. I smashed through every light because on that street where
Yeah,
I was, you can go straight to
yeah.
the house with a few turns. And I smashed and went over there, man. And when I went over there, I walked in and she grabbed me
Mm.
and man, she held me and cried.
You
And
gonna make me cry, but
I held her so long that
mm-hmm.
when I released her, my whole shirt was just wet with tears.
Mm.
And all that elevation, all that expectation, all that happiness, all that completion started crumbling right then and there. All the phones we had started going fucking crazy. The news pulling up outside, man. It was a really chaotic time.
And
Really chaotic time.
I'm quite sure you did what you usually do. You stayed with mama the whole time.
Whole time.
I know you did. He's a man of honor. Again, I salute you.
So what do
Ah,
you think of when the news story came out that it was
yeah.
promethazine and sleep apnea
Mm-hmm.
overdose thing?
Um,
What did you think about that?
Right.
I didn't I didn't pay too much attention to that because we got inside tracks about certain shit. What I was, offended by was at this hotel, like any hotel, why in the hell y'all didn't release no kind of uh flow of surveillance footage? Why didn't y'all look at the footage who was coming to that goddamn hotel? That's what I was upset about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they talked about the whole situation about accidental death, this and that. But at the same time, the coroner told mama he didn't have enough of anything in his system to take him out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we thought it was foul play. but nobody ever looked at the tapes to see who was coming in and out that room, and the last person that left that room.
Mm.
It's something about them Hollywood hotel rooms. Something about them Hollywood hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? I mean, Whitney
That's what.
Houston, I mean, so many countless people in these Hollywood hotels. Even the thing with Diddy, wasn't that in Hollywood too? And then
And
did they?
what you seen? What you seen? Hallway surveillance footage.
Yeah,
Yeah. I guess King World and King Cap gonna want to come up, but World want to know, did y'all ever find out who was the first responding officers were?
No, I wouldn't have that much in depth information. A couple of a couple of the brothers actually went soon after 17 and kinfolk Ed. They went with his wife, you know what I'm saying, up there soon after. So they know way more than I know. You know what I mean? On that type shit.
On my end, right? On my end, because I don't want to bombard him with people. Just Kev, click on the link, right? On my end, right? Oh gosh, right? So
Mhm.
Kev, just Kev, and if anybody else have questions, keep it respectful, which I have been, and we will answer the questions. But I don't want to bombard because Genesis got people and I got people, right? So just Kev, click on the link on
and I'm
my
not
end.
sure if you got people in yours that want to say something, but like some shouts
Right,
outs.
right. That's why I'm only taking one off mine, and you still got the people
I
in
just
yours.
put the StreamYard in the private chat, Heezy. So if you want to like drop it in your, because it's separate chats. So even though you can see everything in one chat, your
Right.
chat separate from my chat from her chat. So
I don't know how to do it.
just okay.
Or
Um,
they can, or
Hey, I ain't fucking with
just
my
ask
niggas today.
questions.
My nigga, I'm giving my niggas a break.
I know today. Hold on.
yeah, they've been
Today
representing
is
for you. They've been
Hezeleo.
repping for you,
No,
honey, in the chat. They've
they
been repping.
representing.
That's my
They
people.
representing,
Trill
but
cash.
it's he's a Leo day. This his
Yeah,
day.
I
Leave my
appreciate
man
that.
alone. My new friend here.
He's a Leo, baby.
And then put that hat
Yeah,
back
and
down so I can
yeah.
salute you
Oh, and
again.
also you've gotten some
Hey,
you've
brother.
gotten some. Hold on, you've gotten some King World was really like liking your UGK posse shirt. So I'm not sure if that's somewhere on the website or whatever, but
Oh
uh,
nah, we don't sell the posse ones, but we do the Trill gang one.
I gotta send him my PO box so he can just send me my little cap and stuff. You can
My
send
little
some
cap.
stuff to send it to Sugar Love. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So I can
you better
represent
send me
out
one of
here
them
in
little
New.
cap.
I'll be trilling all out here in New York, baby. I'll be like
right.
trill,
Hell yeah.
trill, 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 all up in
Hell
these
yeah.
Brooklyn streets, baby.
Come on.
But
So
this my brother
Trillgear.biz
Kevin. Kev, this is
Trillgear.biz is
Trill.
where you could get the get his Trill gang. I mean no UGK gang t-shirts
I
and the
could get that
Trill hat.
too, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
start. I'm
so
gonna get it
y'all
all.
support his
I'm
business.
gonna get it
Support
all.
what he's
But we're
doing.
gonna start with whatever he got. Bro, Kev,
Already.
this is
But that shirt is nice though. I ain't
Trill.
gonna lie.
Let him let I introduce this Trill. You go introduce yourself, Kev. What's up, bro?
What's up, Genesis? What's up, Suge? What's up, brother? Is it Hezeleo?
You
He's a
got it. You
Leo.
got it. You
First of
loud and
all,
clear too.
I'll be remiss if I didn't say this. My best friend, my little brother's name, Caesar Leo. He's the biggest Pimp C UGK fan in the world. So I just wanted to say that, but I don't really have a Pimp story more than I have a Chad story. And I want you to kind of expound about some Chad stories because everybody want to know about Pimp. I ran into Pimp on a humbug. And we was in the airport and Pimp said, "Hey, say, man, where can I get something to eat, man?"
Yeah.
I didn't. I didn't at the time. I didn't pay no attention. So by the time I turned around and looked at him, I realized it was Pimp. I'm telling you, 5 minutes after we met, Pimp jumped in the Sprinter van. We took Pimp to get some oxtails and some shrimp, and so he rolled around, man. But the Chad story I was wanting to say the whole time, I don't know if he knew that me and my daughter, I got a grown daughter that was with me at the time. She had no idea who he was either, but I did. But he never one time introduced himself as Pimp C or said UGK. He said, my name is Chad. He was talking to my daughter about school. He was saying he was in school. Tell us something about that, because people see the image and they think about the flamboyant pimp you see with the fur coat on when he said in the Big Pimpin' video, I'm wearing my fur coat on South Beach because TV ain't got no temperature, man. So tell us about Chad, man, the low-key Chad, because he was really a low-key dude, because it took about 30 minutes for us to make the ride, and he never talked about rap music, hip-hop, nothing gangster. He was talking about school, his family. Tell us about Chad a little bit, man.
Man, I would have to say I appreciate that question, because a lot of times people do think it's all about just the flamboyance and the outspoken person. But Chad was super different. He was a very compassionate, concerned person, and he loved his people. Some of the most beautiful moments that I keep near and dear to my heart, uh, you know, kicking it with Chad, is when he would have birthday parties for his kids. And one in particular, his son that I'm still at the hoops with now, he called himself Pimp Chad Jr., but his name is Corey. He was having a birthday party, and when he called me over, he was like, "Man, bring your son. If you got your gal with you, bring her too." And when we got over there, man, it was just family, and there was an abundance of food. And we talked about no music. We talked about family. We talked about the reason why we hustling, so we can lead them something, so we can have something for them. And he was able to relax. But the funny thing is, he wasn't really like no beer drinker, but he knew I was. But he'd buy like some bullshit beer, and he bought some shit called Slits. You remember?
What?
You remember Slits?
What?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
the white can with the maroon right. That nigga bought some Slits. Come on, nigga, we gonna drink some beer. I'm thinking, ooh, this nigga got some good ass 40 ounces or some shit I like. Man, the nigga opened up the cooler. That nigga had a whole fucking cooler full of Slits, and we sat there and just drank that shit, man, and just talked as young men. And that was the beautiful shit I loved about Chad. Uh, PMC could make you want to say, "Nigga, what the fuck?" You know what I'm saying? But Chad, that's the nigga you wanted to protect, because he had so many people he considered and so many people he wanted to help.
So I think there's a Mac J. He's up here too.
Yeah, what's going on with it? Hezeleo?
What's the deal, man?
Man, I got a quick question for you because I just always wanted to know this from your perspective. What was 17 the Hall? Was he really like Pimp C protege, or was he just on the label and up and coming like everybody else?
Nah, 17 would be like one of the first round type draft pick type situation. His presentation, the way he came in, Pimp liked that shit. You know what I mean? He was a young nigga. He attracted hoes. He had a bunch of money, a bunch of jewelry. And Pimp wanted a bunch of niggas around him who was self-sustained. He didn't want no niggas he had the whole hand. So the way Seven came, Seven had backers, this and that, this and that. And so they was ready to go. So they did a whole lot of shit, you know what I'm saying, instantly. So he didn't like certain shit, like some of the time when he would mimic him with the vocals and shit. But then I actually seen him show him and tell him to do certain ad libs like Pimp C. So to be honest, just all out honest, their relationship was very unique. You was about to see a whole lot of 17 type shit, you know what I mean? And Pimp C had no problem introducing him and finna put him out there on some heavy shit, because the streets, the community, everybody took to him when they got abreast of what was about to come. So he was Pimp C protege, but we all were Pimp C protege. But first in line as putting out my little motherfucking artist, that nigga was finna do that for that nigga. And I don't care who get mad, because the truth is the truth. It don't benefit me to sit up here and hide and lie about it. That nigga fucked with that nigga just as heavy as he fucked with me. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, man, already. That's what I want to know because there be a lot of stories out there, man, and it's a shame that what happened to Pimp and y'all didn't get a chance to take off like everybody was waiting. You know what I'm saying? But as long as y'all still create music, man, there's still a lot of fans out here that check for it. and we're gonna keep rocking that shit, man. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey man,
And
I really appreciate that.
You
And
got a
I ain't one of
background,
them
right?
type niggas.
Yeah, I'm about to leave out because it's kind of noisy where I'm at, but I appreciate that though.
Yeah, I ain't one of them type niggas. But what we
Thank
were
you,
about to
Mac, for
do,
coming up.
what we were about to do,
what y'all was about to do? That's what I want to
Yeah,
talk about.
what y'all was
Because
about
what
to
we,
do.
hey,
after the
Yeah,
acting, it's like
come
because it
on
seemed like
now.
y'all had like everybody. Hold on.
what we was about to do, man. Man, I don't want to talk about that shit.
Hey,
But I'm
can
gonna
I
say,
ask you?
Okay,
That one of them
music
coulda, woulda,
wise.
shoulda. Hey, that one of them coulda, woulda, shoulda had phrase. What we were about to do.
right.
Hey, can I ask you a question, Heezy? Because all the cats that I know that's UGK fans, man, always wanted to know this question because this was the first jump off that we outside of Port Arthur, outside of Texas, was exposed.
Sweet.
When
I'm
the
listening.
when the G say, I got my first key from my baby mama brother, then I hit the block, started spinning, started serving hovers. Who was Pimp's baby mama brother, man? Who was
Yeah.
that?
Okay, so all these stories coincide. So when I tell the story of how I met Pimp C's mom, I tell you that a nigga named Riley B, Pimp C baby mama brother, introduced me.
Okay.
So Riley B is baby mama brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That was on the first two riding dirties. We always, that was a joke amongst our man. Who is the baby mama brother? This cat is in the mix.
Y'all niggas trying to find the plug back then. Huh?
Hey, it was new, man, because you got to remember this early 90s, man. We like, who is these country boys, man? We don't understand the slang. They talking about slabs and
Hey,
we
where you from?
St. Louis at the
Y'all,
time. That's when it
y'all
hit
wasn't
me.
on that shit back then?
No, I'm from the East Coast. See, I came from New York to St. Louis. So we wasn't the first taste we got. That was the jump off right there. So we didn't know about Houston. We didn't know about Dallas. So I always salute. That's why to this day, man, they throw UGK celebration parties, man. 8 Ball and MJG. Them was the two first Southern acts before anybody out of Georgia, man. That's why we know Port Arthur, PA. That's why cats know that. Salute. So yeah, man. But we always wondered that. So now I can tell them I got it almost from the horse's mouth. We know Riley B.
Riley B, man. That's
word.
C's oldest son, uncle. The son that looked just like
Mo, did you want to come up, Mo, and ask a question? Because I think that World said you're a big fan of UGK.
Yeah. Where you at, Mo?
Come on up. Also, another thing I want to talk about, speaking of what we about to do, right? It seemed like at that time everybody was together, the Houston thing and the whole PA thing seemed like it was united. So after that, did it still stay united, or what exactly happened after that? Because I don't really see nothing else happening really like that. It seemed like everybody kind of dispersed after that.
Well, with
She at
black
work.
culture,
Hold on.
it's similar to the movie Soul Food. You remember how the family they had their little shit going on, but while the grandmother was alive, they kept a lid on that shit. But when she passed away, they all start going at each other. Uh, it's certain figures in our family structures that hold that type of leadership that people want to look good for. They want their approval. So Pimp C was that type of individual to the whole motherfucking South and Houston. That's why when he came out with the song Knocking Those Down, it was different because nobody was talking about squashing no beef and bringing niggas together type shit. And niggas started to really think maybe we should be on that type shit. But with him no longer here and no leader stepping up on no type shit like that, niggas go back to doing what they do.
So
So,
him.
go ahead.
I'm sorry, sis. Go ahead.
Are you still in touch with Bun B? Do you
That
guys?
was my question.
Yeah. Are
Yeah,
you guys working with him, or do you guys have any projects coming up that y'all are going to be doing, like to bring everybody back? Like, what are y'all? What's the?
No. I talk to him. You know what I'm saying? We communicate. I got a direct line on him, but what he's done for me up until the point when he stopped doing things for me, I still love and respect it, and I don't expect nothing else. If he does something, you know what I'm saying, beyond this point, hey man, it's just icing on the cake. But nah, we haven't really did anything musically since we did the song "Gots to Be Trill." But we're still in communication. If I want to ask something or get invited to something, I can just hit them up and make that happen. But I'm like a vampire. You damn near got to invite me, or I'm cool. You know what I mean?
What
Oh,
about your
welcome to the
relationship,
panel, Mo. Oh,
Mo? What about your relationship with the affiliates like Goody Mob or Andre, Big Boy? What do you still have relationships with them?
I have speaking type terms with those type of individuals, which Gip was around us a lot. So Gip acknowledged me, what I'm saying, on Instagram, shit like that. If I seen him in person, he would acknowledge me. Too Short would acknowledge me. All the Houston niggas, they still acknowledge me and fuck with me on a certain level. But again, Pimp was the attraction, Pimp was the glue. So when he disappeared
Mhm.
and passed away, you still had people like Two Chains on Trill shit, people like Rick Ross
I
doing
didn't
Trill
know
shit,
that. Wow.
people like Trader Truth on some Trill shit, Paul Wall, Slim Thug, and people like that. They was reaching out to Mama, what I'm saying, being accessible for us, and they truly was telling her, whatever capacity you need us in, let us know. But Mama was so humble, and she was
Hmm.
battling, her own situation, that she didn't want to ask them for anything. But I can't lie; those guys did extend themselves. Devin the Dude, cats like that. They did extend themselves.
oh, we lost Mo. I guess I hope she's coming back up. Because she's a big fan, so I want her to
No,
be able.
yeah, she's at work, so I guess she's gonna pop back in. Anything else you gotta ask Kev?
Kev, you there?
Kev,
Stop.
you here?
So when it comes down to like the mom, uh, his mom, how did that whole thing go down like at the end? Because I know that there was like a bunch of controversy about how he
Mm.
passed, who was involved. Like it wasn't what people thought it was. How did, because she was speaking out a lot about that. Were you around during that time to support her?
Most definitely. What I was doing was trying to keep the label going. So I was in the streets a whole bunch, like pushing the product, trying to set up more shows and different things like that. What we didn't know was she was actually battling cancer. She didn't even tell it. She just kept taking sick, you know what I'm saying, and going in and out the hospital and kind of like coming back ready to get back to work. But one of the last times I seen her on a stage with Two Chain, and she was looking different. And I was thinking to myself, man, something's wrong. But she told me she was fine, you know what I'm saying? And then one day she went to the hospital. Rhonda called me and told me, she had took sick. Her breathing was, messed up and whatnot. She went to the hospital, and she had stage 4 cancer, and she was in the hospital up until um, she wound up passing away. So
So now you have Pimp C pass, you have the mom pass. How much support has the hip hop community gave to Pimp C's children? He has children, correct?
he has 3. He has 2 boys and a girl. Beautiful children, look just like him. I think that some people would have maybe extended themselves if they were asked directly, but volunteering, I don't think people are available like that because they have their own lives and different things going on. But at certain times, I seen where people were all ears waiting on what y'all need, but it had to come from certain people. You know what I mean? So right now, it's not too much support or anything going on. Um, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Mm. Kev, you
So
back?
Yep, I'm back.
Okay,
Uh,
was there anything you wanted? We was talking to you. What was something you wanted to say?
my bad. I had to step away. My family wise. So soon as some of my bros was calling like, Nigga, you got UGK. They just saw the patch on Heezy shirt. I told you, man, St. Louis, the Midwest, love them boys, man. Love you boys. So
Salute you.
Not
I had to step away to get my phone so it wasn't ringing while I was on air. But I wanted to ask you another question real quick, and I don't know how much you really want to say about it, but it's been in the news recently about the events that happened with the brother Bun, who was obviously the other half of UGK, and his wife Queenie. I heard a little speculation, but I don't like to put too many. Did that allegedly have something loosely to do with other affiliates in that pimp situation? If you kind of get the gist of what I'm saying without saying.
No, I think that was some random kid on some fuck shit, and it's very unfortunate because the public can look at Bun and say, "Oh, he crying." Man, y'all looking at a nigga who care.
Grown man.
He had to pop that kid because the first law of nature is self-preservation, and he gonna protect what's inside that house by
That's
all
right.
costs.
That's right. That's right.
But here's something, the flip side nobody's considering. This nigga ain't want to kill that kid.
It hurt him. You could see it.
When you looking at this assailant, yeah, you want to eliminate the threat.
Right.
But when you see the skin tone and
that's the first thing. That's the first thing Blunt said, man. My heart went out to him because you could tell it hurt him that he had to do it. But his wife, like you said, the things that was inside of where that person he didn't know was, he had to protect at all costs, and it hurt Bun. And what hurt me, man, even more is how our community did Bun. Oh man, Bun snitching. He took the stand. Come on, man. Is that what we doing now, man?
Hey man,
see, I'm 50. I'm in my 50s, so we from the same era, man. So it's different now. When they start saying that, I was like, that's crazy.
Nigga, but listen, nigga, these are trolls, nigga. These are 13-year-old kids. Typing on the motherfucking computer. All that nigga. Man, these some motherfucking kids on some dumb shit. Grown niggas know goddamn well that nigga did what he was supposed
That's
to.
A fact. That's a fact.
And if I was him, I would have been in that courtroom. That's the nigga I pop. That's
a fact. That's a fact. But see, man, it's good for these youngsters. They could see the growth. We could joke about it, but see, they know you was in the trenches with these guys, and then they hear you talking about businesses and how you structure things and how you put things together and how you wasn't a liability in a situation like most guys say, "Oh, my partner done made it, so we made it." Nah, you was making sure that you was handling your business, because when that ran out, you was still gonna have to be a grown man to raise and take care of a family. So you just being up here, man. Like I said, I got 20 phone calls, bro. My son called me like, "Hey, that's Bun B." I'm like, "Nah, I gotta break the story down." But they recognize you. That's something to say. 30 years later, they could just see that patch that says UGK and they understand the significance of that. That's how you know you put your stamp in this game, bro. So once again, salute.
I'm collecting them motherfuckers.
That's right. Salute, salute, salute.
So we want to get back on you now. We
get back on him
because this gives us like some clarity on who you are when it comes to UGK, but now you have your own brand and you're your own.
Yes. Let's get to
from what we hear is that you own 2 trucks, or is it more now?
Man, the trucking game kind of started eating shit last year, so I'm back down to 1 truck, and man, fuck truck.
That's like real estate. It's like real estate, bro.
The whole ass shit. Some of them goddamn truckers are the dirtiest motherfuckers. Hey, I seen a nigga. Hey, I don't mean to disrespect your channel, but man, one day I seen a nigga at the truck, and now the nigga was about 400 pounds. Nigga got out the truck to pump fuel in the truck. Nigga had that shit on himself. Nigga had shit all up his back, up his leg. The bitch ass nigga did not hesitate to finish pumping that fuel and took the goddamn water hose outside and started running on himself and got back in the truck.
Oh my God!
What?
Come on, man.
Now on the music tip, right? Because I see you still all up in you. What's going on? Because you just got the brightest smile and the whole room lights up and stuff, So is it a thing you still want to do music? Or you say you working with his son right now? Are you gonna bring new
Well,
artists out? You gonna be
music
doing more
wise,
mixtapes? Come on
And
now.
not only that, but when you're an older artist and you have like the new generation, you got your own kids that you want to bring out. Let's
Yeah,
talk about that. Like, so
yeah.
you have your,
so
your own children that you want to like push into the.
well, I have an artist that's my son, young Heezy. He's a real fucking artist.
You
One of them
said,
old Lenny Kravitz looking ass, little green on Lenny
stop
Kravitz
it,
looking ass
stop.
nigga.
Oh, that
But
was the
now,
one that
so
was in the incubator. Okay.
yeah, that's
All
the
right.
baby that
How
was in
old?
the
Okay,
incubator.
how old is him now?
He's 26,
He's a big
and
baby now.
so yeah,
He's a
he's
big baby now.
grown man with 3 kids. So the thing was, I was trying to keep going as UGK Posse with some of the brothers, keeping the name alive or whatever. But so much time has passed. We've lost some of the brothers. R.I.P. to Vicious. R.I.P. to Ivory P. And so everybody kind of doing their own thing, whatever it is. So what I started doing was putting out singles because I got love for the game. But in 2015, I actually just kind of faded and didn't tell nobody but like Bun and a couple more people. So I started putting out singles and I stopped shooting video. And I had so much work put in, people ain't never noticed that a nigga actually kind of slid to the side. But they got a fucking fly in here playing with me. But yeah, so I stopped shooting videos and just started doing content and started releasing singles. What I was trying to do was basically get behind my son and Young Pimp to where I can service the fans that still fool with me because they cool with me, but get these new young legs on these stages so I can play a management role for them and show them the type of shit that I learned on the road with Pimp and the shit that I know from all this history of being in the game. And
Mhm.
that still, I believe, is gonna happen, but not dealing with investors and all that type of shit and trying to kick up the dust yourself. This ain't the early 2000s like I was able to do for myself. So it's been kind of difficult, but we still in the mindset. We do products together, the Pimp C Forever shirts. We put Pimp on the side of the Trill hat so we can break bread with that, you know what I'm saying? And
Oh,
we do events like we'll go do sneaker summit, sell a merch or whatever. But it's still the same goal. I still want to help them guys get out there and play the background and just show them what I know so they can move, you know what I'm saying? And really see how I feel to be a featured artist, like people just paying attention to them with their team around them. That's such a beautiful feeling that I want them to be able to see. Because most artists, they don't even get to the point where they have an administrative team, they have a street team, they have the clique, but a clique of people who actually playing legitimate roles, not just a clique of people who ready to be a fucking liability and get your whole ship sank. I'm talking about niggas who actually playing roles and shit and positions. So I want to be able to set that up for them one day, and that's what I've been trying to do. Once Young Pimp got out of prison, which he came home about a year ago,
oh my God. How old is Young Pimp now?
he should be about 22, 23.
Is he his father's only child?
No, he has two. He has a older boy named Chad that look damn near identical with him, and then he have a
So
beautiful daughter named Christian, and then Corey.
so you went from, my goodness, it's like a full circle, right? You went from, you know, uh, being in your when you do your detail at, and somebody says, "Hey, you need to talk to his moms," and you like, really? And then you go talk to his moms. Then you come close with his moms and became like, at his son. And then you meet um Pimp C,
Hmm.
and you go along with him. And then now he passes. Then the mother passes, and you still there for the kids. You can't get no more honorable than that. You
But I
cannot.
do want to talk about some other stuff though. Let's go into this though.
But before we go. I don't see the conduct being any other way than that. Like this, I'm just being who I was and always am. Like I'm not doing nothing different.
But
Man, take your roses. But go ahead. Uh
I do want to touch on this because there was a video that did come out. Because I want to talk about the current, because me and you had this conversation about, because I asked you, so were the people that were in during that time that was talking all the street stuff, were they really street guys or were they rappers? And you said no, they were rappers. You said because if you really was doing that street stuff, you wouldn't. I want you to touch on that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe like it's a fine line when you a street nigga and a rapper. Like most real street niggas that I met were not rappers. Like my little brother is one of the throatest little young gangsters that was in the streets, and he ain't rap a bit before he went to prison. And he had a whole lot of peers that was on that same type of time. Us rap niggas were being creators. We were being creative. We were in the studio. We was writing. We were, producing and stuff like that. So I think a lot of the people that I met, coming up out of the Houston scene, that they're entertainers and they're rappers. They might be around street niggas. They might come up in the streets and know a whole lot of street elements, but just trying to be a street nigga plus a rap nigga, it's a conflict because you're gonna wind up being in jail too much. You're gonna wind up probably catching a body, and you're not gonna be able to pursue your music. So a lot of times, I think these artists are actors. They are entertainers, and
Mm-hmm.
they might perpetuate and influence you to be some shit when they're actually something totally different. It's just on the mind of the consumer to differentiate and understand if this nigga's supposed to be sipping drink every day, popping Molly, smoking Swissers, being really irresponsible, how in the fuck is he a multi-millionaire, exquisite businessman?
Mm-hmm.
That don't make sense.
I
Unless
think
you
that's
got a
what Kev was touching on too. How basically it all goes together. But
Yeah,
yeah.
because to expound on that a little bit, of course, the media is going to always portray the figures that we admire in a way. But like I said, fortunately, I just got to meet a guy that said, "Hey, I'm Chad, man. I'm hungry," and he wanted some oxtails and some shrimp. And so when you see, you go, "Wow, man, this dude ain't out here leading women around on chain." And he understood, and then I understood without him having to break that down to me that he was saying, even within himself, I think Pimp's image was what it was for UGK, but who Chad was a separate individual, and he let you know, because like I said, he talked to my college age daughter at the time. He told me he went to college, which I had no idea. I would have never guessed. And one thing I wanted to ask you, because I think what really got people knew Pimp, but Pimp got known on an international level because Pimp was one of the first rappers to start talking about those secret parties and the Illuminati. And do you remember that time and when it exploded? And did you see a change in the way that people came at Pimp when he started exposing all that before? And this was years ago. This was years and years ago when Pimp was talking about this. Before people came up with the Illuminati, Pimp was talking about that. Did you see a lot happening when that whole fire started?
What I saw was what probably the elite saw. An influential individual who's trying to wake up some dormant motherfuckers like a sleeping giant. So a whole coalition or mass part of the culture who wouldn't even look for a book called Behold a Pale White Horse or the what's that shit? The laws.
48 Laws of Power.
48 laws. Like, you wouldn't even think about picking up these books. So when he spoke, what I'm saying, to his fan base, that woke up a whole lot of, what I'm saying, people who wouldn't even think to even go fuck with that knowledge. So he put some fat on a lot of people's head. That would be somebody to object, people who doing some fuck shit, and they probably wouldn't want a person like that around. So I saw it waking up the average street nigga, the hood nigga, the young nigga.
That's
So
a
it
fact.
really was a positive influence and impact for us, but it probably was a black eye to somebody else.
So now you have a new other these new truth tellers are coming out. You have the Gene Deals, you got the Orlando Browns, and then you have a Jaguar Wright who actually talked about Pimp C in her latest Real Life Street Stars interview. What do you think about the things that she said? Was she around during that time?
Respectfully, I don't know that lady, but that lady come off to be somebody look like she on her best motherfucking booze and smoke and whatever. And she's sitting up there entertaining like a bitch, full of that whiskey. Now she sat up there and I saw that shit. Now don't get me wrong, I see some of these interviews she doing whatever, but Pimp C, Jay-Z, like, man, you can't make no fucking accusations like that. You tying niggas to fucking murder cases and shit
Right.
like that.
Right, right.
That ain't no light shit to do just for some fucking clicks and views. Like, but she's not in the lane we're in. We in this Trill lane. So you're not gonna see my conduct ever doing no shit like that. But that conspiracy, Jay-Z's birthday is on the same day that Pimp C passed away and all that type of shit. It's good for the conspiracy theorists and the people that searching for that type of shit. But I think that she might know a whole bunch of shit, but I think she might just be making up a whole bunch of shit at the same time, mixed with a little whiskey, a little motherfucking sweet, and a little mental health. And very talented, you know what I mean? So I gotta throw that in there, you know what I mean?
Oh, facts.
So what do you think about Young Thug right now? So we're getting back to like the whole thing with like, okay, are these people really gangsters, right? So I think that we have the new generation that probably listen to some of this, or the parents were listening to this music growing up, and then they become artists, and then they actually really are doing the drugs, and they're really actually doing the gangs, and they're really actually doing the stuff of the stuff. What do you think about that?
Here's the shit that pissed me off. Us as being the older generation and the older artists, we were like teachers and preachers, and we influenced certain generations to some corrupt shit, certain drugs, certain activities in the streets. But once we started 360ing, I guess we didn't want to fight with the labels about putting out a more positive message or cleaning up what we fucked up. So we just kept throwing logs on the fire. So yeah, you'll have the next generations believing these niggas was really stiff. I'm gonna spin harder than these niggas and I'm gonna rap about it. So exactly, we gave birth to some people that we should have still been coaching and teaching, so they could have been
Hmm.
way better than us as businessmen and as artists. But these niggas want to be what they rapping about and get caught up in that shit and get destroyed by that same shit. So yeah, a lot of these new artists, they are what the fuck they talking about. My whole career, I never talked about the street shit I did. And if I did,
Wow.
I did it innuendo. Like I maybe said a real country ass phrase about some shit like let me see what I probably said. It ain't popping in my head, but I just never directly talked about nothing that I was involved in the streets ever in my lyrics. You know what I mean? Because with this new generation, they're being so direct. They are tagging one another and they're saying, "Hey, tag nigga, you're it. I hit your ass over there on 11th Street. Boom, boom, boom. Under that light, you scream like a bitch." You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe
Right.
that nigga right there don't rap. Maybe he survived, and maybe he know that multiple people are hearing what happened to him. And not only did you actually do this to me, now you are humiliating me. So you fixing to be booked on Broad Street at 10:30 at this club, nigga. I'm coming to get you. So you got a bunch of tag being played because these niggas is promoting and putting out the sounds and reminders that nigga I fucked over you. Plus I took your homeboy out. So now you got this back and forth going on. And the shit really out of control.
Right.
That's if I could real quick too, and I'm glad that you had touched on this a little bit earlier. At the time, during the time that Pimp was incarcerated, I noticed he probably went through that change where he started reading, like you said, you spoke of books, Beware of a Pale Horse and 48 Laws of Power. I what changes did you notice besides that in Pimp as far as his personality? Because again, I don't claim to know Pimp. I just know somebody who knows Pimp, and they said Pimp's personality changed. They said Pimp was still always the same guy. He was a little darker, a little more aggressive, because he was never one of those guys where, you know, he was an overly aggressive guy. He had a real mild mannered tone when he spoke. He never was loud and that kind of guy. But they said they noticed like a personality switch in him, and some of the people he started hanging with, he was very distrustful before, but toward the end of his life, he was hanging around people that he didn't know. Can you expound on that?
Yeah, I've always known Pimp and Bun as a young teen. I just didn't hang in their circles because our city was kind of separated, but we were all from the same era. So I knew close people that was, you know, with them. Like one of the people that was in the group with them, Four Black Ministers, Big Jack. That's my partner, the barber. You know what I mean? Me and him talking. Salute to him. He, you know, switched this game over on the religion side. But what I knew of Pimp back then was a more mild manner, reserved person that, you know, wasn't in the mix of all this chaos and this drama and whatnot that was going on in PA. Bun would probably be, you know, in some shit more than he would just coming up in the streets of Port Arthur. But what a person has to consider is this: when you go to prison, which I've never been, but my brother's been, you know, and one of my brothers still in there doing life now and did 20 years before then. What I had to learn when he came home was these guys don't have no privacy. And these guys are forced to be around personalities and entities and individuals that they just would not fuck with at all, given a better circumstance.
Right.
So Pimp adapted to his surroundings. So when he came home, hell yeah, he was totally different. He was used to being around a bunch of noise. He was used to being around a bunch of fuck niggas, gangster niggas, this and that, this and that. So now he's moving different because of what he had to conform to in prison.
Gotcha.
Plus all the conversations he had with different individuals, you know, you could see it in his personality. And plus he was full of a bunch of personalities himself. His mother told me that he suffered with a personality disorder.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So with all that in consideration, yeah, he was different, but deep down he still was Chad, and he was a hellified Pimp C too. You know what I mean? And from his perspective, the pimping was pimping the microphone and pimping the pen. It's just
Oh, that's what's up.
it's just the bitches chose up. You know what I mean?
They
He went
chose
on
up, didn't
with some of them toes that they chose. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, Pimp then came with some of the coldest one-liners outside of the actual Pimp circle in the game. People, it make me smile when I hear my son, who's 32, and his friends quoting things that Pimp C said back in '91 on the first UGK tape. You dig?
Right.
Things like that, talking about one of them hoes in the air when Bun was, you know the verse I'm talking about. They passed up, turned around, spun ahead, talking about the three-wheel motion and all that.
Side to side.
Side to side. I could, from backside. Now, these kids wasn't even born when that came out. And to think that these kids is still resonating with that's what blows my mind, man. And I don't think Pimp understood.
So, I want to ask a question real quick, though. So now you have a son.
Uh-huh.
And I know that it's online, you know, like the whole argument you had with your son, right? And it seemed like reminiscent of the same argument T.I. had with his son. You know, it's almost like he's in a studio, right? It sounded like he was in a studio making music.
He's a studio rat. He's a very talented studio rat. But he don't understand the gifts that God give him. He think that it's weakness when I'm able to give him something, which is if it's game. Only thing the nigga want from me is money. Nigga don't want no game.
Man, it was so emotional. I almost cried watching it. I saw the emotion in when you were telling him, man, if I gone from here, what are you going to do? You know, and I think that this young generation, I really want to get into like the younger generation, this older generation, how they don't want to listen to crap that the older people have to say, but you got all this knowledge. I mean, how could your son be arguing with you and you have all this background that you've done? How does that feel? You know, like to not be able to get through to your son in that moment.
It's sad because in a sense he take on a lot, and you can see it in the quality of work he do and the talent that he have. So he picks up a lot, but the patience and the business side and putting the shit together and making it flip and taking the long route and all that, he don't want to hear that. Like most of the youngsters, they want instant gratification. They want to put their artistry in the microwave for a minute, and bing, you got a hit record, bitch. You got 400 records, you ain't got one hit. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to work your plan. You got to get yards instead of always trying to get a touchdown. It used to be really frustrating, but I'm at the point right now. I'm not trying to be insane because I have 3 other children. I have a daughter, and we have our own issues. She's older than I have another daughter, which is, what I'm saying, my numero uno right now, who really showed a nigga love on Father's Day. Fuck the rest of you hoes. I
Oh
got a baby
man.
son.
F them kids.
Motherfucker.
Oh man. Oh, happy Father's Billy. Belated
Right, happy
Father's
belated
Day
Father's
kid up here.
Let me ask y'all this. All right, this is me and my daughter's dilemma. So she's 24, right? And she had a baby probably like 18 or something like that. And I was kind of shocked about that, but I accepted, and it is what it is. It's my grandbaby. But this past Mother's Day, I didn't tell her Happy Mother's Day. She got mad, right? So Father's Day
Uh-oh.
went all throughout the goddamn day. I did not get one text, you know what I'm saying? So she gonna tell me, yeah, you forgot to tell me Happy Mother's Day, so I ain't telling you Happy Father's Day. And I was like, nah, dog, that don't work. You know what I mean? What y'all think about that?
As a man, Kev, how would you feel about that? Because
I,
what
Listen,
is your feeling
I'm gonna
on
just
that?
say this.
you should have said Happy Mother's Day to her.
My daughter, you got to realize, when our kids get grown, my daughter's 35 years old. She got 4 kids of her own, been married 14 years. I slipped and forgot in the process to call her. Oh, she was petty enough. She waited until the point of the day in which I called her, remembered to call her to wish her. I said, baby, it's 7 o'clock at night. She said, that's the same time you called me on Mother's Day. I said, wow. So I feel your pain, brother.
Damn, so they holding that
They
grudge.
petty. Oh, bro, until we die.
It's the
I
new
don't care
generation.
how old they get, they always have babies, man. And they gonna be petty with you.
So ladies, what y'all give me y'all input on that?
Well,
I didn't have nobody to wish Father's Day. I only wish my brother right here a happy Father's Day, but
you should have wished
That's
her
why
Happy Mother's Day. I'm sorry, you should have wished her Happy Mother's Day.
I have no issue with that. I just didn't know it was expected like that, which I'm still dealing with. My beautiful mother passed away a few years ago, and on Mother's Day, I kind of go into, damn, my mom. You know what I mean?
right.
Did you
And
talk
I'm
to your
still,
daughter about that? That you probably was like a little bit traumatized about like losing your mom on that set, and that you were going through that.
I explained that to her, but I think it's one of those about me things right now. I think sometimes that as parents, our children look at us as inhuman. We're not human. We're parents. We're not
Right.
boys or girls or men or women. We're parents, and that's it. We in that box. Uh, I was actually like going through my own thing. Like, damn, my mama, like she deserved to be. I'm going through my mental shit, but at the same time, like if that's what she want, yeah, most definitely. Next time I got her covered, God spare. But I don't think
Hey, it's still not late. It's not too late. You can go ahead
I
and
don't
get her
think
a little gift.
I don't think the two should battle with one another.
It
Hey,
shouldn't
I'm
be
the
about
motherfucking head, bitch. No.
No,
Hey, but you said something real
was
important.
looking for you to say that. That's all. It just hurt her feelings. That's all.
But the way you explained that, brother, the way you broke that down, a lot of young brothers that's going through those growing pains, see, they don't have fathers around. And so just the importance of you being in your children's lives, even though they're adults, and you still go through growing pains because you're trying to learn to be a parent to an adult as opposed to a child. And they're trying to be a child to a parent and while they're an adult. But what you said was very important, man. They forget that just like when they go through a breakup or they're going through something in their personal life, they just look at us as parents. She might not have realized that you have to grieve your mother, the loss of your mother, and how that impacts you on Mother's Day. And see, I just went through that with this Father's Day. People don't know whether to call. They don't know, and they don't why you did. Sometimes you may feel away and you may not be able to express that to other people. And so, like I said, for younger guys, man, it's so important for them to see the OGs, the guys that avoided the penitentiary, that avoided the cemetery, and to see that it is something on the other side. You still who you are. You still Trill, but you're a grown man. You're a father. You're a grandfather. You're a businessman. It's important because oftentimes the young cats, they don't see the other side. Like you say, they wild. They want to outgun each other. They want to outslide each other, outspin each other. But they don't see the guys like you that say, yo, man, if you use your head and be patient and avoid them pitfalls that they got for you, it is something else outside. You may not even be able to comprehend right now how you can make a living outside of the streets or outside of robbing and stealing and doing what you're doing. So just being able to see you and hear you talk and realize that, wow, this is what being a grown man look like after the streets, minus the bullets, minus the caskets, minus all of the things, the mental health that we go through, man. And I'm proud, and I want to say salute again to you, because these young guys don't see you, and so they'll burn out because they don't think it's nothing on the other side, man. And you're a great example of that.
And I'm gonna say this too as well, because a lot of times, because we went through the mud and we got ourselves to a certain point, and we raised our kids, and we might be in a good place when we're raising these kids, right? They didn't have to get it out the mud like we did, right? So when they get older, they don't really understand the struggle it took to even be able to be raised in this nice environment, nice place, no like danger, whatever. And so when they get back into the street thing, they're around the street dudes or whatever, and they want to like still seem like they're somebody, but we're like, bro, you grew up in the suburbs, you know what I'm saying? You didn't have to go through none of the things I've been through, but you want to still try to be hard, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times that's what's really going on, especially with the young boys, because they want to prove themselves. He's around in the studio and around his friends, and he's talking to you crazy. It's like, and really it's being spoiled, to be quiet. That's what I look at. Like, he's just spoiled. You know what I'm saying?
It's the blind leading the blind. Because back in the day, if we went around certain older dudes, OGs or whatever, and they knew we didn't need to be corrupted, they'll slap us upside the head. Get the fuck away from here. They trying to get us to avoid these pitfalls.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But nowadays, you got, these peer groups, they're amongst one another and they blind. They all blind, so they just blind leading the blind. So when somebody come and tell them about a better way, and I've always learned, when you give a youngster a better way and tell him to stop doing what he's doing, you better have another option available in that same conversation. So I never approach these young niggas with just, hey, you just need to stop what you're doing. I'm like, hey, man, if you stop this here, you can shift on over here and do this here. Now, when they don't want to do that, I have to get away from them, because I'm going to become insane repeating myself over and over.
Yes, sir. Say that again. I don't think they understood that.
Yeah, so it's like, you could tell your children over and over, and you love them, and when they're young, you're going to tell them over and over. But when we keep taking the same test, I know I ain't retarded. So you might be. So I'm going to let you be insane by yourself and keep trying to do the same shit, trying to get different results. It's not going to happen. So I back off. I get an input. I get an option in the resource. And if you don't follow up on it, boy, fuck you. I'm going by my motherfucking business, and I'm going to show you better than I can tell you, leading by example. But yeah, so the blind leading the blind. Back in the day, we had homeboys we knew wasn't cut out for certain shit. And we might be the same age, but we'll tell them, nah, my nigga, you don't do that. You go do this. I remember one day we were finna pull some shit, and one of my niggas fought with me. Nigga, you not finna go do that, nigga. I'm like, nigga, but it's, you know what I'm saying? Nah, nigga, you ain't finna do that, nigga. Give me that. I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? So that type shit ain't happening. Like,
And the OGs that existed back then don't exist in this day.
They smoke crack.
Right.
or
Scratch
something.
this about the goddamn game. Them white
They
folk knew what they were doing.
they leaning or rocking with it, but
Yeah.
you know, somewhere, because like I said, the music is still in you. Do you create beats too? Are you like you produce?
No, I'm not into like the mechanics of music. I'm into the poetry and the lyrics and the emotion. I ain't got the time sitting in the motherfucking studio tinker linking playing with shit. I leave that for them other niggas. I want to come in there with my shit already wrote and drop that shit and let another nigga
No.
engineer.
You know what's
Uh,
crazy is AI is taking over all that shit. I think that music is about to
Yeah,
come down. There's not even gonna be rappers no more. I think people gonna get into that
they
AI.
better do it now. Do your son make the beats?
Man, my son does everything. He know how to shoot videos, edit. He know how to produce beats, and he
So
don't
yeah,
rap. He don't write his raps.
so you
Like,
can do your raps with his beats
well, the songs I do
if y'all
now,
can get it off.
they have real deep messages in them, and I'd rather not even record if I'm not gonna make something with substance. I just
I would
dropped a
love
song
to
called
hear these things. The balance is so off. We need this. I'm
"Bless My Life," and the way those lyrics came to me is just incredible. And so, if you get a chance, please listen to that. Bless My Life. You'll see the change in my maturity and my content. And I'm due to put out another song soon, but it needs to be along those lines. You know what I'm saying? I don't really want to party. Uh,
no, but
I want
we
What streaming
need that.
platforms can we find your music on,
Yeah.
brother?
my music is on everything and everywhere.
So okay, every streaming platform. Okay, that's
Yeah.
what's up. Hezeleo, well, let's go check them out. Make sure we support that because, like you said, you got to have a counterbalance to the mumble rap. We got to
No,
have a counter
yeah,
to that.
thank you. Exactly, bro. Like
Who's in your play rotation right now? And after you tell us who's in your play rotation, give us one local PA artist that we can go check for because we love supporting regional artists, especially
tell him to come on over.
Shit.
playlists.
Celine Dion. Fuck you talking about?
I met.
That's
With
right.
that. With
Probably ain't no hip hop in there. That's how I am, bro.
No,
If you
No. All right, look. I got
you're gonna give us
I
that
got
top five.
Feel far away.
come on, go and give it to us.
I got Hezeleo in there with all the damn Houston niggas, you know what I'm saying? Young Thug, Bun, Pimp, you know what I'm saying? We got that whole playlist going. But then I got a whole bitch ass playlist. I got Elton John in that whole motherfucker.
We like him too.
That's right. That's
We
right.
like
I'm
him
a
too.
rocket man.
Hey,
Hey,
Wait,
that
hold
motherfucker
up.
Rocket Man.
Hello, we like him too.
Wait, what you be working out to Rocket Man? I'm a Rocket Man.
Nah,
That's right.
when I'm
That's
in
because
that
that's
truck,
old school. We were before hip hop, so of course
yeah.
we still like that music.
When I'm in that big truck, that's the type of shit, you know what I'm saying, keep my mind just, smooth. 70s
Yeah,
rock and soft rock and
mhm.
shit like that.
That's my
right.
stuff too.
DGs and all type of shit.
Oh,
But then
oh.
then at the end of the day, when you know what I'm saying, nigga didn't scrape that money up, nigga turned back into some rap shit, you know what I'm saying? I listened to Pimp C, He's a Leo and Bun B. Bought a Cadillac, dropped it to the street top, got me a family, you know what I mean? So I'm all over the place, man.
Now you know we're gonna get that top five dead or alive from you, right? I thought
Let's
I
go.
never would say. So, all right, now remember, you can is your top five, which means it could be a group can count as one, right? And
Mhm.
that'll be from, or you can. I don't like to just say top five. I'm just saying that. Just you can give us like your top 7 or 8, like from any era, genre, and then go ahead, baby.
Um, I gotta go with rap first.
Yeah, I'm
And
talking about rap. Mm-hmm.
gonna start with Rakim, and then we're gonna go to Cool G Rap, and
Ooh.
we're gonna go to King's Son.
Yeah.
Mm.
Then we're gonna come down south and pick up my nigga Scarface,
Yes,
Oh
sir.
yeah.
MC,
Yes, sir.
my nigga Bun B, And I gotta give me a nigga out of ATL, Ti.
Damn,
Right, that's super
that's an
tight.
incredible list.
Speaking of super tight, that list is super tight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he be jamming. He knows
Now,
his music.
Can I get another one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Prince, Michael Jackson.
Hey.
Hey, that's that.
Okay.
Bob Marley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit. Marvin Gaye. Man, I don't know.
Okay. So
Maxwell.
if you could make a super group, right?
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna go 80s, 90s, 2000, from the 80s on down. You got to pick a group. So a group we're going to use to say 5, right? But there got to be one person from each decade to make a super group. Who would that be?
80s on up to when?
I'm gonna be nice. And if you, I forgot you old school, so you could do 80s up until now, right?
Wow.
But
Okay.
only one per decade.
Okay.
And you want to make a super group. So, like, you may use one because they talk fast. You may use one because they pull a little step in, and one because they story tell, or one, whatever. But it has to have some of everything in there. You want to make a super group. So, if you're doing a concert, this concert is going to get some of everything. So, what would
let
the
me
super
get
group be?
let me get L Cool J from the 80s. Let me get Ice Cube and damn, Pop died in when? The 90s?
95.
Damn, I need Pac in there.
We'll slide them in there.
Okay, so we got LL, Cube, and Pac. We got, man, I'm tripping, but I need Biggie in there too. And then shit. 2000s, let me see who. Oh, put Lil Wayne in there. That's one of the baddest motherfuckers ever on performing. And then one of these young niggas. I'm gonna throw one of these young niggas.
That's a 2000. We got 2010, and then we got now
Kevin Gates.
Kevin Gates. Okay, yeah. Now in 2024. You gotta add one. I
need to grab an order from 2024.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Gates was 2024.
No.
Let me see. 2024.
We all gotta think about that.
Man, I don't even know, Lil Baby. I don't. Man, I don't want to pick nobody from 2024.
Hey, let me ask you about another list real quick. It's an either or kind of thing, and I just want to just blurt out the first answer that comes out.
All right.
When you talk about moguls from the South, Jay Prince or Master P?
Jay Prince.
Okay.
Why?
Zero.
Why?
Yeah, why?
I seen his power, and I hung out with him more. Okay. So I got to see more of his structure and how he rocked, and it was a sight to see.
I can imagine. Zero or Devin the Dude? Ooh,
man, damn.
Ooh.
I'm gonna have to go with Ro.
Ro, shout out to the homie Ro, man. He been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
One more. We talk about the South. Who's the queen of the South? I ain't gonna even make it a multiple choice. Who's the queen of the South?
Who's the queen of the South?
Yeah.
Shit.
Aretha Franklin. No, Aretha Franklin from Detroit. No, she's from Detroit.
Who?
Aretha Franklin from Detroit. No, she ain't from the South.
Queen of the South.
Everybody think they'll throw Trina out there. They'll throw, a Gangsta Boo out there. The Chat,
Man, I'm biased. I ain't really listening.
I know. That's why I put it out there.
So we don't want to keep him too long. It's been 2 hours and 18 minutes.
We've been on here 2 hours.
Yeah. That's
You
how that listen,
know,
that's how
that's
how it go here.
yeah.
You won't even realize.
We keep it a safe place. We make people feel like home,
Man,
and
I
we
done missed
will.
my Cadoga appointment. Man, my old lady probably knocked out sleep.
I'm sorry.
But we would love for you to
I done
definitely
blew my
come
Cadoga,
back.
man.
Oh, we sorry, but salutes to you again. Your head is full, though. Your head is full, but we would
Baby, wake
love,
up.
we would
Baby,
love,
wake up.
um, we would love for you to come back. Keep us posted on what's going new. If you got artists, your son, anything that's coming out, if they want to do interviews. So it's always good to get an interview like before you hot. When you hot, you understand you all want that first one. So anything that we can do that support you, make sure you stay part of the family.
Yes, ma'am, and vice versa.
And again, thank you for taking your time out, for gracing your presence on our platform. And we appreciate you and we salute you for your time.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate all y'all. I
And
enjoyed it.
we also we are the content creators. So we have a lot of content creators in here.
Huh.
If you guys want to share the love and like cover some of the things that we talked about here, feel free. You know what I'm saying? Because we want to put him out here. You know what I'm saying? We want to like let people know he's got new music coming out. He's got like businesses he's doing. If you're in you're in Port Arthur right now, still, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
don't forget, if I
What
come
businesses
into
do you
your
have in Port
channel, you
Uh,
better remember Sugar Love.
What are your businesses that you have right now?
Yeah, let us know what you got going
uh,
on.
the business that I have that I want everybody to chime in on is Trillgear.biz. The trucking is self-sustainable with, you know, lease contracts and stuff like that. But Trillgear.biz is where you go and get all the t-shirts and the hats and stuff like that. And then my other business, it's a rental car business, but you know what I'm saying, that's sustainable with its own customers too. So definitely go fool with that Trillgear.biz.
Oh
But
no, tell us what the rental place is too, because hey, we could
oh
be
no, ain't no need to
Now
sell
I
that.
got to go rock that, right?
Ain't no,
But the only thing
Trillgear.biz.
is,
That merch is
no,
the
but
yeah,
we got one
Trillgear,
problem though.
that
We got
Trillgear.biz.
one problem with my
What's that?
when I order. I need a autograph on my hat. How we gonna do this? I'm rocking this in Brooklyn.
What if I just send
need to
you
have a special thing that you autograph when people come from
Hold
our.
on, let him
Mhm.
say it, DJ. What
what
you
if I
saying,
just
baby?
send you a autograph Pimp C book and then a hat?
That's
So I
right.
don't have to write on your
Oh,
beautiful hat.
That's right.
oh, that'd be beautiful. True,
Trillgear.biz.
Jill. It seems like I knew you
Trillgear.biz.
forever. I don't know why. I feel like you've been my brother from another mother forever. I
Yes, ma'am.
really, really enjoyed you. You're gonna all remember Sugar Love. And my brother King Cat, you got any last things you want to say to my brother?
Just
My
want to say absolute honor and a privilege speaking with you, brother. These youngsters, man, this is something I can take to my nonprofit youth center. I mentor 132 youth right now. I could take this back, man, and sit back and let this play, bro. So it's an absolute honor to get this kind of game from you, bro, and be able to pass this on to the youngest. So I appreciate you.
I'm proud of
oh,
you, man.
give a
Appreciate
shout
you.
out to Mo Money, please, because she dropped off because she at work. She one of your favorite people. Please give a shout out to Mo Money.
Yeah, shout out to Mo Money and man, DJ Genesis, man. I appreciate this. This felt real good. I haven't
Oh,
did content like this in a minute. It's been Troll City, baby.
now
Salute DJ
I
Genesis.
always one thing I do is I always ask people at the end of the interview, did you enjoy yourself and did you feel that you were comfortable with us?
I did. We could have went on for another hour or two.
You're gonna come back, so don't worry about it. You're gonna we family now, bro.
Let's do it.
We
Let's
definitely
do it.
gonna bring you back because you're gonna have more stuff
Yes.
to tell us about like what you got coming up and all that stuff. So we want to make sure that next time you come back, you're gonna have something big announcement. And I got a feeling a big announcement is coming.
Or
Yeah.
just come back to
I have a
chat.
feeling that you ain't said nothing, but you just
And
been
he could
holding
just come
in.
back
I know
and
there's
chat.
something. I know there's something coming
Yeah.
up that you ain't said, and I
Mm-hmm.
know that, and I know that I can feel it. Right?
And
Am I right?
we're gonna leave it at that.
All right, my
Mhm.
brother. I want to Thank you again.
Well, feel
my
free to
brother
come here
Kev.
when you make it. So
Thank you, my brother
Yes,
Kev,
ma'am.
for
I'll be
coming
checking
up.
you out too.
Thank you, Mo Money, for being his number. That's my brother now, but his number one fan. And if you're ready to go, DJ, you want me to say them magic words, or you want to say something else? DJ.
go ahead. Yeah.
All right, DJ, take us out of here.
I love who I am. I'm loving me. Look in the mirror. Unapologetically love what I see. Love who I am. I am invincible. I am a fan. My curves and my features, God makes no mistakes. I am successful. I am what it takes. I'm bulletproof. I'm 100 proof, and I love who I see because I'm living my truth. I'm invincible. I'm incredible. A star in the making. I reach past the clouds. I'm invincible. I'm incredible. And no one can stop me. Can stop me now. I'm invincible.